race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsport.
RACE22 Radio!
It's time for another edition of RACE22 Radio. In-depth coverage of all your favorite late model stock car racing action from all perspectives.
You want answers!
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
RACE22 Radio is hosted by Race22.com founder, Mr. Langley Austin.
All they need to do is delete the late model stock cars from that rule book, and that will help start fixing things right there. I mean, that's all we got to do. Just
so
delete
in the
that.
NASCAR rule book, is delete the pages and just say refer to car stores.
Exactly. That's all they got to do. That's all they got to do.
Race22 Radio is co-hosted by Performance Center Racing Warehouse President, Mr. Roger Johnson.
You're the guy for this, in my opinion. You know, we don't. I mean, name me anybody else that's doing it.
Well, appreciate it.
Right? Well, it doesn't mean you're good. I'm just saying.
With special co-host, Crazy Corey Latham. Sit back, buckle in, and hold on tight. Race22 Radio is coming right at you at full throttle. And now your host, Mr. Langley Austin.
All right, guys, we're here at RACE22 Radio, live from Performance Center Racing Warehouse in Statesville, North Carolina. Still in the hood, but...
In the hood.
it really
ain't. What show number is this?
It's 15.
Yes,
15.
sir.
I mean, according to Mason Dunn, we wouldn't make it past 3, but, you know, here we are anyway.
What's he know?
Yeah, he didn't... nothing. But you know, I talk about it every week. I don't want to make a bad impression on people. I talk about this place being in the hood. It's really not that bad.
No,
it's just a neighborhood,
right?
It's not like Southeast Roanoke or Southeast Charlotte or whatever.
Ish.
No, it ain't that bad.
Nah,
it ain't that bad. Well, nothing going on in racing this week at all.
At all.
So
I don't think anything happened.
I mean,
boring.
Just a couple of races.
Yep.
Got in this
a lot
past
of rain.
weekend.
Some rain.
Yep. Of course, Southern National dropping some big news a few minutes ago. We'll dive into it after
big news.
Doc goes through the news here in a minute. But one thing I want to talk about before we go to the news, man, Myrtle Beach car count,
awesome.
Amazing.
Yep.
It was 27
Off the charts, absolutely.
I mean, what's the deal? I mean, how does it stay that like that? I mean, it's amazing.
I think it will continue to stay like that.
I mean, I don't see anywhere for it to go.
I mean, I know it gets hot down there, but there's always a nice breeze. It'll be all right.
I don't know about the nice breeze part, but,
They're doing it right. It's treating people right. Listen, when every single racer that you ask says, hey, we like them guys down there.
Right.
They treat us right. We know they got our back if something goes wrong.
Right.
That's why.
Well, and I was also having a conversation with a racer today about what it pays there, what it costs them to go race, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So
we discussed that off air.
Yeah.
It's a lot better than some of the rest. And then we get this new news that I think was big.
Right,
I think it could be a changer. Could be a game changer here.
Well, while we continue to wait on Corey, I guess we'll let
he
Doc...
shows up as he wants to. Yeah, let's let Doc wait.
I mean, should we just bring Kim back on this week?
Yeah, for sure. And I think we should just let him go ahead and go.
Yeah, let's let Doc go with the news. Jesus.
Wow. A little Marilyn Monroe action from a boss man.
Wow. Put your shirt back on, Langley. Put your shirt back on. Put your shirt. Oh, my gosh.
Roger's now on the table doing the table
Roger
dance.
is not on anything.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, happy birthday. 41.
And if you haven't heard yet, it is the boss man. Langley, happy birthday, my friend.
I appreciate it, I think.
The boss. He called you the boss. That's all funny. Anyway, go ahead.
Friday night, no racing this past weekend from our tracks in our area that we try to cover. Anderson, Kingsport, Southside all rained out. Although some news coming out of Kingsport, Kres VanDyke announced today that he's not running for a championship. That's pretty interesting.
It is very interesting.
I mean, he's won since when's the last time he lost there other than the Cars Tour race?
Well, he lost two races ago. He's won 2 out of the 3 this year. So.
Okay, there you go. Speaking of the devil, Saturday, April 20th wasn't too much better, but they did get some racing in. Bowman Gray rained out. They tried to the last minute, could not get it in. Dominion Raceway, twin races. Tyler Hughes, 18 late model strong. Tyler Hughes wins both of them. Pretty good, pretty stout.
Yeah, he was definitely up on it. I mean, he's pretty good up there. I think he's going for the championship, so hopefully he'll
off to a good start.
Yeah, I'd say.
Myrtle Beach Speedway, as you said, the car count's off the chain. 27 late models on the grounds. Not all of them started in the first race or the second race because of incidents in the first race, but right. Sam Yarborough, past champion. Last year, did he win last year championship?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I done stumped the panel
remember.
here.
Champions are not my thing.
Sam Yarborough, winner in race number 1.
Races, yeah.
27 strong on the grounds. Race number 2, Will Burns. So 2 different winners, 2 races, 2 different winners. Lots of competition there. Not all the cars. I think 23 cars started in race
cars,
number 20.
Performance Center cars.
There you go.
Clear. Just want to be clear on that.
In both races?
Yeah.
Awesome. In the Chargers class,
which is amazing racers.
I hate you, Langley. Such a prick.
It's his birthday. He can get away with it.
I know he can. I don't care. He ain't my boss. So I don't give a shit.
20 Charger cars, which is basically a limited late model kind of deal.
Some version of it.
Some version. Ish. But 20 of those guys, that's pretty stout.
Every division they have stout.
15 super trucks and 10 mini stocks. That's a pretty good night of racing.
Yep, for sure.
Let's see. Who else we got? Southern National Motorsports Spark also had 2 twin races. 2 races, that would be 2. Twin late model races. Stacy Perrier. Wins last week at Carteret. Wins this week at Southern National. So, yay, Stacy. One for the old guys.
Definitely an old guy.
Late model number 2. How about Bradley McCaskill? Been showing some speed at Cars Tour races and here at this deal.
And he didn't run the car in the first race. Ronald Renfro did. And he took the thing from last all the way to first. So
nice. Started dead last on the field.
Yep.
You go, Bradley. I hear you. So good job for those guys. South Boston Speedway, lots of eyes out there this past weekend. Peyton Sellers wins Thursday at the big show and 100 laps at South Boston Speedway. He was the winner. Lee Pulliam, he finished 4th. Philip Morse 5th. Any on-track action or anything you hear of?
You seen any videos on Facebook?
I seen a video, but it wasn't late model guys. It was a scrum.
Yeah.
I thought you was posting rugby shots or something. I didn't know what that was.
Some of those IndyCar fools.
They were getting on with it, that's for sure. And the big show, Super Late Models of Pass Easter Bunny Special, the 150 Easter Bunny 150 this past weekend. Kind of thought it was interesting. Branson Butcher in time trials was fastest with a 14.494, but was DQ'd. And
I think he was too low. That's
too
what
low?
I've got,
okay. Right, he was low riding?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Maybe the dingleberries on the
wow.
I don't know what they call them
with
things.
Dingleberries.
The frizzle.
This is when we need the shotgun noise.
Wow.
He was low riding, so apparently it didn't count. Preston Pilter took his 23rd career quick qualifying time, and the official time was a 14.603 for the record. But found it was interesting that the Cars Tour, Cody Connor, yeah, he's on
track.
He's on new tires too.
Behind us.
Sound like he was on new tires. Cody Connor was a 14.2, a little over 0.2 faster. But you say the weather, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know enough about the super rules to be 100% for sure.
Yeah, I was just wondering if there was a big difference in rules.
I don't think there's a lot.
Or it was the weather.
Is it?
Yeah, there's some.
Yeah, because I thought 2.5 tenths for super, versus super. I thought that was pretty interesting.
But it's also a lot colder leading into that race.
I'd have still wore
shorts.
shorts.
We're talking about Hickory. This could be all over the place. The sun shines. It's different. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So you do a redraw, so Pilter would end up starting 6th on the race. And the winner was Derek Ranstorm. Did I pronounce it right?
I don't know.
It's
a
where's
northern
he from?
I'm not really sure.
Is he from the north?
Yeah, past
This
north.
ain't a super late model show.
That's why we
13
don't know
cars
anything.
finished on the lead lap. Corey Heim finished 13th. So Mike Hopkins finished second. Brandon Setzer third. Travis Stearns finished fourth. And Justin Kreider, he's from Statesville. He finished top 5. So good job for him.
Right. Yeah, definitely a good run for him at his home track.
And as you guys talked about the news from Southern National Motorsports Park, just posted on race22.com. Their next program, May 11th, got a new outlook for the late model stock car racers. Prize money, top 5 only.
Right.
All right.
This is big, I think.
Yep, this is a game changer, just like you were saying. $100 entry fee for the late models, free tires, free pit passes.
It's an interesting one. I mean,
That's a game changer.
I think for a guy.
Corey, what do you think?
I have nothing.
We're going to turn his mic on eventually.
He's kind enough to show up.
He's tried to talk 3 times.
Rolling in here in his Brown style.
Yeah.
It'll
I
work,
have
man.
nothing.
He's representing today, y'all.
What do you think of that? That's the first time you didn't get a chance to really talk about it.
No,
Probably
I've been-
didn't even know about it.
No, I've been driving 117 mile an hour
Okay.
away here. Since this damn show does not have a set time when it starts ever.
Well, we wait
You know.
to find out when you're coming, and then
Yeah.
we're like,
And then
let's
we
go
bust
now.
Eventually, there's going to be a brunch show, a morning show.
And you'll be here
Right.
late, but you know.
Right, it's still here.
No,
And then they'll wait and turn your mic on. So
So what's the deal? They're only paying the top 5?
They're only
Yeah.
paying the top 5, but it's a $150 entry fee. You get
Free
your 4
tires.
tires for free. You get 4 pit passes for free. So basically, the guys that finish outside the top 5 are probably losing money anyways. So they're just losing it a lot less right here.
Yeah, I think that's less money to lose. That sounds like a pretty
sure.
good deal to
I
me.
think so,
I mean,
too.
But,
That's possible.
but can the track survive
It-
doing this?
Well,
What is
yeah,
okay?
yes,
So
survive.
what does the top 5 pay? We didn't hear that.
Yeah, it's 800 to win, 600 for second. You would ask me when I don't have it pulled up, but 800 to win, 600 for second, 400 for third. You make me scroll here. 200 for fourth, and 150 for fifth.
So you finish 5th, you get your money back.
Yeah, I mean, if you finish fifth in both races, you get $300. I mean, it's 300 to start.
So you made 150.
right?
So,
right.
yeah.
So
I mean,
Wow.
really not. But I mean, based on your expense
right.
going
I
into the track,
understand.
yes.
Understand. Right. Yeah. Really not. But we're
Yeah.
talking about if
That doesn't
the
sound like much, but at a regular track, I mean, you must spend $1,500 to race, and
but
you race
you
for
know-
$1,200 to win, you still lost.
Right. I mean, you know,
I
just,
kind of applaud what he's doing, though. I mean, if you think about it, we're just simplifying some of the waste down, and
For sure.
he's exposing the fact that there's, if you break it down to its simplest form, we can make it cheaper because the little add-ons aren't going to be in here or
Right.
there. It's completely one-time deal. Here you go. Here's your 150. Here's your 4 guys. He knows he's still going to get more people. I think that's a win.
right. And one of the things that, you know, people talk about all the time, well, these racetracks just nickel and dime you to death. Mm-hmm. Well, they ain't nickel and diming you to death. You got one expense.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah,
It's all
straight
out.
straight
You
up in
got-
your face. There's nothing added to it.
It's
So.
cut and dry. It's all out
Right.
front.
And that voice you hear
Wow.
there is Daryn Cockram.
Came home.
We hadn't introduced him yet.
Yeah,
but-
he just
but,
fired on us. That was
talking to him.
awesome. He's ready.
We get him to pull his mic up to his mouth here, and we'll be good to go.
Hey,
I mean, he sounds like a bullhorn anyway, so he'll be ready to go. But yeah, we'll talk with Daryn a little bit more here as we go along. You know, I think there's a lot of advantages for the racetrack too. I think there's some business advantages. I don't, want to mention them on here because I don't know
Right. All of what they
the
are.
details.
Sure.
But I think there's some advantages for them too, and it just changes the way that
Man, I
they
think
have to
that's
do
a
business.
game changer. Instead of having, you think about it, right? Just for a cash flow basis, even for racers,
Right.
right? Just for a cash flow basis for
Right.
what checks you have to write.
Yep.
Yes, you're going to get money, hopefully back, but
Very little.
right, right.
At-
So
at pretty
checks
much every
checks you're
racetrack.
going to have to write. Now you have to come up with 150 to go
Right.
to the racetrack,
Right.
as opposed to you can't even race limited.
Right.
Right? You can't even race limited at a track that I know of. Either one of you two
No.
may be able to.
No.
For one,
Even if you run scuffed tires, you're not going to
Right,
run
that's what I'm
less than
saying.
that.
That's what I mean. So limited on a completely scuffed tire deal. If we take Hickory, it's still 225, right, or 275. So
Right.
you won automatically.
I agree, 100%.
I don't.
Yeah, sounds like a great deal to me.
I think the one thing that, if the racer understands it, and I think some will, and I think some won't. I've seen in the comments already, I mean, there's comments stacked up on RACE22 under the post for that.
Sure.
There's comments stacked up about, well, they're only paying the top 5. Well, you don't understand the math of these guys going to race. Daryn understands. I mean, what do you think about it?
I think it's a wonderful idea. I mean, any other track like we was talking about before, if you go to a track and you're going to be competitive, you're going to have to win or at least top 3 to even come close to being breaking even.
Right.
And to pay $150 and Diaz is going to give you 2 shots, like you say, you're going to walk out of there with $300 if you can run the top 5.
Right.
I mean, that's a heck of a deal. And he's giving you 2 new tires and 2 scuffs.
Right.
And the way I understand it is you run your new tires, you turn them back in.
Right.
You buy 2 more the next week.
Right.
Yep.
And you get
So
yours
That's
back.
the way we were told. Yep.
I mean, that's the same thing South Boston's doing.
It's
Right.
the same thing Kingsport did when they were winning.
Right.
When they had big numbers over there and we're on that same shock deal, the standard pro shock
Right.
deal. That's
Right.
the same deal they were doing.
Right.
I agree. I mean, I will say it's a ballsy move on Diaz's part. I mean, it's something I told him before we put it out there because he's like, hey, I want to get this put out there.
I don't think it was
Okay, I'll
ballsy.
write it. Well, no, I say it's ballsy because the man just had 17 cars. It was a good field. I mean, he had more than the NASCAR points required to have there.
Right.
And he says, you know what, I'm just going to throw all my chips in
Yeah, but
and
wait
try
a
to
minute.
make
How
this
do you
work.
not respect this to a kind of
Oh,
a point,
I
right? Like
completely do.
People keep saying, I want to feel like I was in it. I want to feel like I'm in it. How do you not say, well, hell, he's going to get you right in it.
He did something.
Right. He's going to.
Nobody else is doing
he's
anything.
He's going to get you right in it.
You know, nobody else is doing stuff.
I give
He's
him all
doing
the
something.
props in the world. I think
Yeah.
that's great. I mean, I don't think people understand he could lose immensely here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if 40, 50 cars show up at his racetrack, right, and he supplies all them with tires and all them with pit passes,
Right.
I mean, he lost.
It's taking a lot of
Sell the
money.
hell
out.
out of some hot dogs.
But what I think, I appreciate the fact, and maybe I should say this, maybe I shouldn't, but you and I have discussed, I don't think any one late model stock car track is going to really average over 35 or 30 right now. I think Myrtle Beach is kind of controlling the realm, right? And Cars Tour is doing a good job with their stuff. But I think just as far as the accumulative amount of cars, I don't know that we're going to be able to find that. So I think he's taking a kind of a big chance, and I applaud him for taking it. I think it's good for the sport for sure.
Right, and one thing too, if you missed the last 2 races, they offer drop races, so you can drop your worst 2 races, so you can drop the first 2 that you missed. So you're still in the hunt for the championship if you want to go there on May 11th.
You just jump right back in.
I like what he did. I like it.
I mean, it's a really good deal. I mean, it's really really interesting. Brian Obuzinski, chiming in. I always figure I'm going to mess up that name. I don't think I got it.
Just call him Obi.
Yep, Obi. He said the tire deal is a game changer at the park. He races there all the time. He says the math works. I mean, there's a lot of comments coming in. I don't probably
He says
can't
he's
read them
expecting
all.
25 plus for next race.
Thomas.
We also do drags out back.
Yep.
Not only do we have the
I just got
IndyCar
shot in the
track.
back, just to let everybody know. That was a drive-by. I actually just got shot.
I don't know what the hell's going on.
Come on.
And all the races are twins. So, I mean, it just opportunity right here for guys to go there.
Yeah, I
mean,
think
it's
maybe that's
amazing.
something we should. So it's
Thomas Bean, low budget guy. He
100%.
says, I like the Southern National idea.
Yep.
Obi thinks they're going to have 25 plus late models. I hope you're right for sure.
Do you think we can get Kevin Pierce to do this and get free tires? No.
Was that a serious question?
I'm not allowed to comment on anything. I'm almost banned now.
Yeah.
I'm afraid.
Brandon Clements.
Yeah.
Brandon Clements,
That'd
who's
be
a
second.
full-time guy at Carter Red, he says Diaz for the win on this. So
Yeah, I think Diaz.
I think the response has been overwhelmingly positive in the last 45 minutes or so that
Yeah.
this has been out there.
I'm proud of him. Like I don't know how you don't give the guy props.
He just does something ain't nobody else.
Right, and you know what? Here's the thing I like the most about it. If it doesn't work, what did he lose?
Well,
he goes back to doing it the other way.
Well, and it's not like he just, at the drop of a hat thought
No,
about
he's a
this. He's
smart
been
guy,
thinking
right.
about this and talking about this and trying to figure out how to do it the right way for a while. I mean, you gotta give the guy credit. I mean, he's gone out on a limb that nobody else has gone out on.
I think he's going to win. I like that. I like that move.
For sure. No doubt about that. Let's see. The Chris VanDyke thing. Man, I found that to be very interesting. I mean, I knew that he was going to run full-time at Motor Mile, but I did not know that he wasn't going to go to Kingsport. That was really surprising.
Let's talk about what perception that gives.
And if you don't know, he announced that, Doc talked about it on the news, but he announced that during PRNs at the track with Lenny Baticki, talking about how he was going to run for, the Motor Mile Championship and forego going for the championship, which he is the points leader at Kingsport right now.
Right, which is
he's
another
won 2
thing
of the
that
3
baffled me.
races.
Yeah,
He's got a
it's
pretty big
just-
lead on the guy that won it last year.
It's really odd, man.
Well, he said, and he has said this to me before, but he said in that he doesn't want to be a one-track wonder. He wants to be a guy who can
But I
win
feel bad
races
for
and
Kingsport
championships.
because, I mean,
too.
he's
He's a draw.
their cash cow
He
there.
is a huge draw for
I
them.
mean, I think that was tough. I feel bad for what's going to happen to the quality of racing. Not that he's a one-man show, but,
Right.
I mean, look, the guy's win 2 of the 3, win a championship. No, he didn't win a championship last year, did he?
No, Zeke Shell won the championship.
2 years ago he won.
That'd be a PRW Cup.
I know, but I thought he
You
won,
should remember
he won
that
2
one.
years ago. Man, I think that was a big blow. Big blow. Is it, you think, because of, I mean, we can't say that it's financially cheaper because now he's going to travel, so you can't say, I mean, there had to be something maybe. I applaud him. Listen, if he wants to go race other places, I applaud. I just think.
I guess you get doing the same thing all the time. You just want to try something different in your life, I mean.
Right. But I mean, the thing about it is, he says he doesn't want to be a one-track wonder. I mean, the guy's won at Greenville. He's got a win at Greenville. He's run good at Anderson. He's run good at Hickory. He's won races at Lonesome Pine. I mean,
he's running good at Martinsville.
I was
Finished
just getting ready to
second
say
at
that.
Martinsville
I
in
was just getting ready to
2003.
say that.
Martinsville, he's always
that's
run good.
so right. If
For
you could
sure.
run good there, I mean, what? Whatever.
For sure.
That surprised me. That was really surprised me.
No,
that one caught me off guard.
There'd been, I don't know, on the limited side, there'd been some rumors that maybe he had a rental car. He had somebody renting a car off of him. Y'all heard anything about that?
I don't know.
And he wanted to
For Motor Mile.
Yeah.
that might work. Yeah, that could be.
He had somebody in a
Good
car
for him.
up there.
And if it's that, I'm cool with that too. I think that's painful for. I hate that for Kingsport, but
Right. I don't know that it's. I don't know that it's that big of a deal.
They're
I mean,
still going to beat the hell out of each other and race.
No, I like it.
And,
I mean,
and honestly, it could be a positive.
We
you
talked
could take
about
a
it,
guy out
'cause-
of the mix, and everybody else, I got a chance to win.
well,
man.
and that's
Oh,
what we
yeah.
talked about right
Bring
now.
more cars in.
Now there's
Exactly.
3 or 4 different people, maybe 5 different guys that really got a decent shot of making something happen over there.
Right. I mean, if Philip Morris and Lee Pulliam don't race this weekend, which I don't expect Lee to, I don't know about Philip, at Motor Mile, I mean, you have the same scenario. Who's going to win now? Those 2 guys have dominated the place for ever and a day. I mean, so who's now? Kres, or is it Mike Looney, or Brian Reedy, or who is it? C.E. Falk? I don't know. That's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
I mean, and Kres may be the guy in position to come in there and just become the guy. I don't know. I don't know how he's run there in the past. I think he's run decent. But
He
I don't
run
think he's been,
decent. It was a couple
real good.
years back. I guess he was up there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, when was the last time Motor Mile had a mix of winners in a year?
1975. I don't know.
I mean, there's always been the 2 people. I mean,
That's,
whether it was, before Phillip and
you
Lee.
get a random guy. C.E.
But
Falk
yeah,
has won a race up there.
Brandon
Mike
Dean.
Looney's won some
Didn't
races up there.
Brandon
Brandon
Dean?
Dean. Probably then when
That's what I
Brandon
was just
getting ready
to say.
Justin,
Yeah.
Brandon
Berry.
Dean, Justin Johnson,
Josh
Josh
Berry.
Berry, Frank Denny. Lee won some races that year. I mean, so that's probably the last time. That was probably 2011, 10, somewhere in that
9.
neighborhood. Yeah, somewhere in that neighborhood. Yeah.
2008 or 9.
Right. You probably got a sign around here
Yeah,
somewhere. for
I
the
think it was
championship car.
2008 or 9.
Right. So, it's interesting. It opens up some doors up there. I hope. I mean, honestly, I think the racing there at Motor Mile will be better if Philip and Lee are not involved. So,
I want to hear from people in the chat what they think of this thing of Diaz. I think it's a game
well, I
changer.
think they've had a lot of them on here talking about that now. Yeah, Scott Castle said the same thing a minute ago that I said. It said it could be better for Kingsport because you might show up and have a chance
Sure.
to win, and that's
Sure.
totally possible there. Kenny Lang says that Chase Dixon. No, Chase Dixon is not in a VanDyke car. He is. He used to be, but he's not.
Okay.
Now, which my wife corrected him anyway, so it's all good.
She's the brains of the whole operation. I don't even know why you're on.
I don't either. Yeah, you
And
want
she's
this?
way better looking.
You want this? Come on. Oh man, but I don't know. Let's go ahead and introduce our guest
that'd be
formally
nice.
here.
Oh, boy. Hey, that's me.
Yeah. That'd be that voice you hear. That'd be Daryn Cockram, limited late model racer at Motor Mile Speedway this season, driving for Lee Pulliam Performance. Give us a little quick, 1-2 minute, overview of your career.
Wow.
Explain to us if this
tough
was
right
hey,
there.
if this was comic book story, issue number
Is
1.
Langley saying
who
your
are
career's
you?
only 2 minutes
You know?
long?
That's kind of I was.
I mean,
2 minutes,
that was
right?
tough.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Come
give.
on.
I wouldn't give Philip Morris more than 2 minutes. Okay, so go
Oh,
ahead.
great. Well, let's
You get a
see.
minute and a half.
All right, we're down to a minute and 15. It all started back in 95. Me and 3 of my buddies, we decided we was going to run that famous Any car down at Franklin County Speedway.
Yeah.
Well,
That's where careers are born, right there.
yeah.
Boy.
Yeah, I think it says seatbelt, wind and net, and no brains or something. Well,
You had that no brains part covered.
Hey,
Almighty.
the rest of them had brains. They got out, and here I sat 20 years later.
Hey, but the IndyCar divisions, spawned a lot of really good guys. Look, Jimmy Mullins came from the IndyCar division.
Mike Looney.
Mike Looney.
Yeah.
Jimmy. I mean,
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of really good ones.
Marshall winner.
We started with that, and we done that a couple of times, and then we trashed the car. Well, we was high schoolers. We was done.
Yeah.
And in '99, I decided I wanted to race again. Got a mini stock. First time I got down there, won the race. I said, might try this again next year. So I show up next year with same car, same paint scheme, same guys working on the car, Earl Yates. He used to be the king in a mini stock, okay?
For sure.
If you was driving one of his cars, you was the man.
Yep.
So we unloaded off the old open trailer, and me and Travis, his son, there was 24 races that year. I stayed at home in the pool 2 of them races, and Travis beat me 2. And I won the rest.
That's awesome.
So, I decided, hey, man, I believe I'll keep doing this.
That's
and,
awesome.
We won a few more. I think we've won probably 70-some, which ain't a big number anymore, but for a guy that works every day, that's pretty good, I guess. But we've won 70-some races in mini stocks. We moved up, played in the trucks. They got rid of them. Well, that's a real bummer. Right after you buy a truck, they get rid of them. Yeah, that was good for Performance Center. But, we got in a limited car, and, it just ain't been there. I work all the time and then try to get in the car, and, I've bounced around a little bit, and here we are.
Right. And that's the biggest thing for you. I said you're going into Lee Pulliam Performance this year, handling your cars. That's been the biggest thing for you is where you work. And
Yeah. I mean, owning a business, it's hard, okay?
Langley doesn't know, but the rest of us know. Yeah.
We would take off, and, hats off to my guys, because generally the guys you see in the pits is the same guys that I'm yelling at all night. We got to go. We got a truck wreck. We got to do this. We got to do that. 2 hours of sleep if they're lucky, and then we're gone. We'd have everything ready as close as we could get it on Thursday, in a trailer Friday morning at South Boston or at Motor Mile trying to test, and then racing on Saturday. Well, it's hard to sit inside the car, drive the car, get out of the car, fix the car, get back in the car. I'm sure it can be done. I'm not that guy, okay? I'll just tell you. And then on top of that, try to answer your phone, or, one of you guys answering the phone, then you're trying to answer questions. It's just, it was hard to make, as we talked earlier, it's hard to make the numbers work. Right. I was letting too much money go that I could have been saying, hey, you know what, I can join this team.
Sure.
Put this money over here. I show up. I'm not a duffel bag driver. If something happens and they say get underneath there and pull that transmission out, man, I've done it for 20 years.
Right.
Don't worry. Hand me the wrench. I'm gone. And but I guess in the same breath, I'm getting called a duffel bag driver this year. That's fine. I made a business decision to be with Lee Pulliam and make sure that when my car showed up, it was the best of the best, and there it was.
And the phone never stops ringing.
Nope.
No.
They're answering it right now. Yep.
As you can see, yeah.
It's just the way it works.
Bless his
heart.
heart.
If you want to be able to race, that's the way it works, right?
Yeah,
Somebody's got to answer the phone.
It's always something. The phone's ringing. And then to throw it in the mix, my son, he's now racing go-karts. First year on a go-kart, last year wins 2 championships, 2 different divisions, wins 2 of them. My daughter, everybody knows Brittany. Here we go.
Right.
That kid's probably won as many mini-stock races as I have. Not sure, why her belly keeps growing, but I think the guy in the corner probably knows. But
Wow.
That's a different story.
That was awesome right there.
Hey,
I didn't know if that was awesome.
If you can't outrun her, you just
was
you
awesome.
do other things.
Wow. He's on fire, man.
Wow.
But, you add that on top of running a business. Now you're at the racetrack. Now you're trying to figure your car out. You got 7 minutes to figure it out. It's not good business. Everybody at this table knows what it costs to go to a racetrack. You just took that money. Lee, one of the things Lee told me, he said it costs more money to run poorly
For sure.
than it does to win
I
races.
I agree with that.
And when he first told me that, I had to think about it. I thought, what does this mean? And I sit back and I thought about it. And I went to Southern National down there, and we overlooked a cracked rotor.
Right.
We showed up late. We got out there on the track. We run really good tires or really good times out there on a wet track. I was tickled to death. We get the draw of the tire. Qualifying was no good. We fixed the tires, swelled them, got everything right. Throwed the green, boy, here I come. I hit the brakes one time, and the caliper just pushed right on through that broke rotor we ever seen. So, not only did I miss 2 days of work, spent a lot of money, something that would have been found in a shop.
Yep.
Wasn't found because we were busy working.
Plus, it's got to be hard, right? Because you're used to winning and working hard and doing whatever, right? So, and you know you're not doing it well, right?
Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah.
Because I'm the first guy to know I don't do something well. I'm sure you're the first guy. Damn.
It's bad. And I mean, there's times that you sit back and you just look and you say, okay, well, should I just go ahead and quit? I'm done.
Right.
And then you'll take that week and you'll spend that time to work on your car and to prepare your car properly. And you show up to track, well, boys, this just like old times.
Right.
You're right there.
Right.
The last time we run a Motor Mile, Carl, he sits on the pole. I go up there the Friday before, or the Friday, I guess the day before, I guess you'd say. And we go out. This car was literally done, I guess, 2 days before. We show up. We go out there on the track. I run 10 laps, brand new engine. Something happened. Didn't get any practice on this car. Put it back on the trailer. Went to the shop, mad. I called Rayvon. Rayvon fixed it that night. He said, bring it to me. We'll fix it. Well, one of my guys took it down. Half a night later, they get the car fixed, send it back. We go up there the next day, no practice, hit the track, everything. I qualified mid-pack. Halfway through the race, I'm looking at the back of Carl's bumper going, wow, this is all right here. I finished second. Go back home. I'm like, guys, we got something to build on. Come back next week, sail off in the corner the Friday before, spindle brakes, smack a wall. I take it back to the shop. HC and them, I was with sellers at the time. They all said, hey, what do we need to do? What do we need to do? Obviously, they're in Danville. I'm up here. I'm mad.
I can understand. Sure.
My guys, I had a brand new car sitting there, and I said, well, we'll just, that's it. That's a sign. I mean, it's 2 races in a row. And one of my guys said, well, let's jack it up. I got underneath it, and I started measuring the points. I said, hold on here a minute. This thing ain't been as bad as I thought. So we drill the fenders off of it, drill the nose off of it, go to the new car. The body wasn't on it. We take the front end off of it, bolt on bumper horns, all the stuff. We take them off, take a spindle off, lower off. We bolt it straight on. The upper A-arm mount was just bent over. Okay. Here's how good our car was. I had a guy take a torch, heat it, bend it over. I said, hey, let's go up here to Star and Park. We ain't out of the points yet. We went up there. I think I qualified 2 or 3 from the last. I didn't even pay no attention. And I said, well, we're just going to start and park. I got to thinking about it a little bit, and I said, well, let's just try this, see what it does. I go out, they throw the green flag, 27, 28 laps into it. Guess whose bumper I see again? I'm thinking, man, I've brought 2 limped cars up here in 2 weeks, and I'm running with a man that's 100% prepared.
Right.
Long story short, we finished second the first 3 or 4 races. And, then I was in a wreck, so on out on the road, and took me out pretty much the rest of the year. And it's just it's one of those things I think this year is going to be really good, having Lee working on the car, knowing that it's prepared, having Lee or Kres or, one of the guys out of there standing there. I get out of the car, I say, hey, this is what I think. They tell me I'm crazy and this is what they're going to do to it, and I get back in and drive. That's pretty good for me.
How did the whole thing with – here we go again. Looky there. I mean, how'd you get out with Lee? I mean, y'all been talking at track, or you just woke up one day and said, hey, you know what? I'm going to get this dude to start working on my cars.
It was a good pick. I mean, he's a good guy to pick.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just asking how it happened.
After you chase those cars so many times, you finally go ahead and say, you know what, if you can't beat them, you're going to join them. And I talked to Lee a couple years back, and then I talked to him again. And Kres has really been a big, I don't know how you would say it. He's really tugged me along and said, you know, hey, man, you know, we've seen what you can do with that. Try one of these. And, you know, I talked to him, and then this winter I went down and I talked to Lee again. And, I mean, I'll just be honest with you. Past couple of years, I've tried this new thing, past 3 or 4 years, putting my business first. So, you know, I made sure my business was stable. I thought about it, and I said, yeah, this is what we're going to do. I contacted Lee. I went down and sat down with him, and I'm sure all of y'all have sat down with Lee. Lee is an incredible guy. When you sit down and talk to him, this guy is just, I mean, he is down to earth like you wouldn't think. And just after speaking to him, I was like, yep, this is what I want to do. And he said, well, bring me the car. Well, I had a brand new car sitting at the shop. And we towed it down there, and here we go.
There you go.
Yeah. It's got to be exciting for you too, because I've talked to you for years, and you're always, when you gonna race? Well, you know, I'm doing this and doing that and doing this, and it's got to be exciting to finally be at this point right here.
Yeah, it is. It is. And you know, everybody here knows Derek Lancaster. Okay, so
Yep.
Unfortunately,
It's the best trailer in the infield.
Yeah, that's right. I stood back and I asked Derek. I said, "How do you balance your your business, and your racing?" And he's like, well, it's hard, you know, you do this and you do that. And I kind of listened to some of the suggestions he had. And, man, you know, 3 or 4 years of bouncing in and out. Just like last year, I could have raced South Boston. We went to South Boston. We had some issues with it. Frank Denny was helping me. I think we would have been really good. I mean, I honestly do. We was off on the first race. Not a big deal. That first race was the only race we run, because when I got back, I had business opportunities that come fourth a week later, and I chose those business opportunities. And I told HC, I talked to him and Peyton, and I told him, I said, look, this is big right here, and this pays my bills. I'm gonna choose to leave that car parked, and I did. You know, and I'm sure it was a shock, and you know, it's something that I never thought I'd see myself doing, but I did. I parked the car, and now this year, it's because of that one decision I made last year. It's game on. I mean, that's just I'm going for it. I'm going for the wins. If we get a championship, you know what? Hey, that's great. Whatever. But at the end of the day, just in case any of these Motor Mile guys are listening, I'm there. I'm there for the checker.
Right. That was going to be my question for you.
That trophy at the end of the year, it'll be nice if I get it. And I'd love to have it. But at the end of the day, I want to be the guy when the tailgate drops, everybody goes, oh, boy.
Damn. Yeah.
And if I'm in your back mirror, you might ought to think twice.
He used to race at Franklin County.
I learned everything I know watching Corey come down 85.
What's up? On 2 wheels in the Gray Ghost.
That's right.
well, you're definitely not going to win if you've been paying attention to him.
Hey, he does pretty good. You ought to have seen them taxi cabs getting out of the way on the way up here.
Wow. All right, well, we're back on Facebook.
Yeah,
we just continue to record here. We'll put it on the podcast later, but Facebook's just
exploded,
glitched, or whatever. So
that happens.
Yeah. Yep, that's what it was.
Hey,
There's too many people
overrode the server.
Hey, look here. That's right. Lee was on the other end of Facebook, and he cut it off.
Right. He didn't want them to hear what you had to say.
That's right.
So I don't even know where we're at in the conversation because I've been over here trying to fix this.
Paying attention.
Somebody else can, lead into the next
question. He was telling us how he's getting ready to kick everybody's ass.
Well, that's what he said. I did hear that part.
Hey,
so you race for a championship Motor Mile. You going to race around anywhere else? And
yeah, I am.
You tell me that every year.
I am. We've got 2 cars. We've got both of them sitting there ready to go. Well, one of them's got a motor sitting in the floor. It's got to be put in. But we've got 2 cars. They're ready to rock and roll. After hearing this news with Diaz,
yeah.
Hey, man, I'm heading that way.
Right, that's interesting.
I've been
it?
so close down there so many times, and just something stupid happened so many times. I'm coming. I mean, that's
just
just
a
all
game changer right here.
Oh man, I love it. And $150, and he's gonna hand me 4
You was going to
tires.
spend that anyway. I mean, you're going to spend that.
You're going to spend
I mean,
5 times that.
From a racer's perspective, tell us, what you spend. Let's say you're going to Motor Mile this weekend. What do you anticipate your budget's going to be going into this weekend? And then tell us what you expect the payout to be from 5th on back.
All right.
Actually, I have the payout from Motor Mile, so I will read
I haven't
that.
seen that, so I'll probably get sick right here. But I was in them meetings, but I don't remember. I guess I got that paper somewhere.
Well, they said that you were sponsoring the track. You didn't want any payout this year.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's what I heard. I don't know.
Yeah.
Somebody said
Give
that
it
in the
away.
meeting.
That's right.
Kenny Lang said your business is a great sponsor for late models.
Oh yeah. Man, we joined with Brian Reedy this year and stepped on board. He had a sponsor that he'd had for a year or so, and they went a different direction. And I chose to jump on board with Brian and try to help him. Brian's always been a good buddy. I mean, I'm sure there's videos on Facebook it'll show difference. Me and Brian's definitely hit doors, but at the end of the day, if I pick a phone up and call Brian,
Right.
he's going to help me. And the same right here. I help Brian.
Right.
And that's what it's all about. That decision I made last year put me in that spot.
Right.
And as like we keep saying, that was a game changer for my whole business. And but Motor Mile Speedway, I anticipate it's $150, I think, to rent the track. $50 to ride that dirt bike.
That was a good run right there. The whole shot at him. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That guy's gone, buddy.
The cops were not chasing him, I don't think, this time. This time.
What will tires cost you this weekend?
Tires this weekend, what are they, $690? So we're going to have $690 on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whichever day we show up to practice. We're going to have $690 there.
Plus pit passes.
Plus we're going to have $690 that day. So what
The
are
tires
we?
are actually a little cheaper than that. The tires are $593.09.
All right.
Wow.
Saved $100.
Sub 600 there.
Hey.
So
That's
that's
good.
at Motor Mile.
That's good. We'll be fine.
And, of course, Motor Mile's doing some cool things, too.
Yeah. They are.
Like Diaz, they're trying to save the racers money. They have a $15 NASCAR license.
The pit passes.
The pit passes with the NASCAR license to get in, and $20 without.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
really, I mean, that leaves no need for a crew member to buy a license. Into this season, which has got to help. I mean, because that's what $100, $150, whatever it is now.
Yeah, it's like $100 per person or
Right.
something like that. But so you figure at $590, then that's what $1,080 or something like that,
Right.
$1,180, whatever, for your tires, and then you're gonna have 10, 15 gallons of fuel, 20 gallons of fuel time you practice, whatever. That's $8-9 a gallon, and what you're going to be realistically? Time you get there, you're going to be $1,800.
Right.
I think for a limited car.
Well, let's go to race number 2 though, because you're not going to buy as many tires there. So what do you think? What do you anticipate? I mean, 2 tires is $296.
Well,
They do them every 2 races or something.
We run 2 races. On the 3rd race, we buy 2 tires. So on the 2nd race, we'll show up, and you're pretty much going to have your pit passes, which is going to be cool, $15 a piece,
Right.
$20, whatever.
Right.
And you're going to have that 10 to 15 gallons of gas.
Right.
That'll be about it, unless you broke something.
Right.
And if there's a field of 25 cars like they say there is,
Yeah.
there's going to
Be something broke.
Yeah, it's going to be something broke.
Probably.
But,
feeling something.
Yeah,
There's going to be a lot of feelings hurt.
A lot of feelings hurt.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be some hard feelings everywhere.
Carl's listening now. He's on.
Oh, yeah, boy.
Carl's planning on hurting your feelings.
That'll be fine. Hey, let me tell you, it's one thing I ain't, and that's scared.
Oh, man. But, I mean, I think some of the things that they're doing, just listening to you talk about the expense, I mean, that's a really good deal for the limited. I mean, I know the late models, I mean, they still got to spend, $296.54 every race,
Oh, yeah.
for their tires.
Yeah.
And their payout, is
what? Give it to us.
Um,
Drop it on us.
He's not ready.
And this is split. This
Got
is
it.
split for, the races, so this is the overall. But it's 1,800 to win, 1,300 for second, 800, 700, 600, 575, 550, 525, 500, 425, 375, 350, 325, 300, and 250 all the way to last.
So it's 900 to win.
Yeah,
Yeah,
race.
per race
Yeah.
split.
So Diaz is only 150, so we're $100 less as far as the entry minimum, right? Because the tires alone on that deal are $290 something.
Right. And you figure in the 4 pit
Right, but we're
passes,
not even
so
figuring that.
it's
We're just
another $60.
Right, so we're $150 ahead already, and it only pays $100 less dollars to win.
Right.
Yeah, it's 800 at Diaz.
Right.
I mean, he's really got something good right here.
I think so,
I
too.
hope everybody pays attention and tries it. I mean, I know I'm going to. It's
Right.
But
I
wanna
told
jump
Roger
down.
before the race, I mean, if this goes good, if they get a bunch of cars, if it picks up and racers understand what they're going to, and I think most of them, I think the lower budget guys are really going to understand this.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
For
Yeah,
sure.
they're
I
gonna
think
jump
the
right in.
guys who were planning on winning, they're probably like, dang, man, I could have used a couple of extra, $100 here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think in the long run, the guy with the money is going to come back anyway, right? Like,
Right.
I mean, we already know that. He's going to
Yeah.
come back till he doesn't come back at all anymore.
Racers race to
because he
win,
went to
so,
because he went to trucks or K&N or something else, right?
Yeah.
But the guy that's going to be around, I have to imagine that he's going to think that this is a win.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't know of a place in the area that he can race anything, meaning limited, late model, whatever, anything in this configuration of perimeter car for that cheap.
I can't take my kid go-kart
That's what I
racing
mean.
for $150.
That's I don't. There's no
Right.
way. I think this is a huge move. I think this will put some racetracks out of business.
I think it's
I
going
don't
to
know
open
if
a
you go
bunch
that
of them's
For
eyes.
sure. I think
I
so.
mean-
Because what's going to happen, right? Right now, everybody that's doing it wrong is getting compared to Myrtle Beach. So what happens if they do this right too? Now you got two or three
If it works,
places.
it's going to change the landscape across the whole
100%.
thing.
Because will a place like Hickory be able to still pay their huge amount of lease that they have by doing it in this direction? Because they're the ones that sell tires for $700,
Wow.
Right.
I couldn't race there.
right or not?
I
That's
don't
just a
know what they
fact.
charge for
It
that.
doesn't matter. Say there's $650, let's say. It's still, or Diaz is $150. It's
Right.
trouble.
I think it's going to be good.
That's trouble.
I mean,
yeah.
he's like giving you 4 tires, and 2 of them's new for the price of 1 new one.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you go wrong there?
I think that's a win.
And the free pit passes.
And he's letting you in free.
That's what I mean.
Right.
I mean, come on.
What do you average taking into the pits with you,
7 to 9.
So he still wins.
including you?
Yeah.
So he still wins as a business. I mean, he knows he's going to
yeah.
get more than 4, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, the average team's probably.
and
in
now
the
I
6
think
to
the
7
interesting
range.
thing is you might actually get more people for the simple fact of if you had 4
Well,
for
they're
your
spending so
team,
much less.
right? Now
Yeah.
you're like, oh, my wife can come down, bring the kids,
Oh, yeah.
right? Because
Yeah,
we
come
didn't.
on.
Now it's 4 that we saved.
Yeah.
I like this. I think he's on it.
You're pretty much renting the track for $150 and having a race with your friends and getting paid for it.
Correct.
Oh, yeah, and having a ball at it,
And
too.
isn't that what you want?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what it is.
I mean, it's a bold
I'm
strategy.
happy about
for
this,
sure.
man. I think this is a win.
For sure. Erica Reed wants to ask about your son, Matt, getting into the nasty crash at State Line, I believe.
Yeah.
How's he doing?
He's doing real good. He was out for probably 2 weeks or something. Had a concussion. He showed back up. He's raced 1 time since. As could be expected. I mean, it messed him up pretty bad, shook him up. As could be expected. He was kind of shaky on the kart the first time. We run him in 2 divisions, each time. And the second time we put him out there, he had the chance to beat and bang. And, like, the nervous level went down. So the old Matt come back, and he was ready to go.
Right back in it.
Yeah, he come from, like, second from the back up to 5th or 6th, got spun. He done it 2 or 3 times, and just he's that mentality's back in his mind. I mean, he had the track said he had a crash. It was like a freak crash that in ever how many years they've had it, they've never seen it. For people who don't know, they got the start messed up. He was one of the fastest karts there all day. Somehow or another, he got put toward the back. They were training, coming up. The guys behind him were following him. A guy that was supposed to be in the back was up there.
Right.
Caused a wreck. Cart turned sideways. He done exactly what I told him to do. On a go-kart, you can't hit the brakes. You hit the brakes, them guys are on your bumper.
Right.
This is bad. They're going to hit your tire. They're coming over your head.
Right.
There was a hole. He shot the hole. Days of Thunder. He shot the hole, went through, and a cart that was up on top that had never raced rolled down the track instead of holding the brakes. My son was wide open, hit that one, T-boned it, flipped the cart. The video actually shows he flipped it 3 times. The cart got hung on his leg. So he would hit on his head. That cart would come over, hit the ground. He would go over. Done it 3 times before he come out of the cart.
Jesus.
He had a brand new bell helmet, and his bell helmet now is egg-shaped and busted.
Awesome.
Holy
That's
crap.
good, though.
But, yeah,
right? That's good. That's what they're supposed
intact.
to do. Yeah, 100%.
It stayed intact.
Right.
And, hats off
Take
to
all
them.
that energy.
That
for
was
sure.
awesome. So, we went to the hospital that night, and they took care of him and sent him out of there with a leg brace because it pretty much, you can imagine, that go-kart weighs 200-some pounds without him in it. It stretched every muscle in from his hip to his toes. Put him on crutches there. I don't know where he gets this from, but 2 days later, he's up trying to walk on it.
I know where he gets it.
Oh, yeah.
I think everybody listening knows where he is. I just want to put that out there.
He had a doctor's appointment on Monday. I called his mom. I said, "Where's he at?" "Oh, he's on the way." "Who's bringing him?" "McKesley." I said, "Okay." I'm sitting at the doctor's appointment waiting on him. I called him. I said, "Where you at, bud?" He said, "I'm on the way, Dad. I'll be there in just a second." I see him pulling in. Notice I said I see him pulling in.
Right.
He has a concussion. Okay, he's not. He gets sick riding down the road and seeing the grass go by. His son drove from Czech to Blacksburg to the doctor. I said, "Son," he said, "It's all right, Dad. I'm all right." I said, "Yeah, buddy. Okay." Well, we walk in, and the doctor looked at him for a minute, and he said, "Well, I think you need to stay out a week." Matt said, "Well, that's fine. I got a race in a week and a half. Is that all right?" Week and a half later, I mean, what can I say? I can't fuss at him. I've done the same thing.
Right.
He was on that cart. He's ready to go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
But thank you for asking about him.
Yep. She's actually, somebody who I talked to that night, because I thought she was at the racetrack, or maybe she was at the racetrack. I'm not sure. But anyways, Thomas Scott asked on here about Southern National being a NASCAR feature Division I. Yes, they are. So you could go down there and get points, and I mean, I think
That's
as
gonna
many
be
cars.
big.
I mean,
I'm
as many
telling
cars
you.
as they had this last race. I mean, they could very well be above the 16 mark the entire season
I
based
think
off
they're
his
going
move.
to.
So
I look for about 22 to 24 this next race.
it's going to be interesting.
Diaz maybe
for sure.
pulled the cards out,
Make me
laid
a
them on the
road
table.
trip.
I mean, there's cars sitting around that place on jack stands, and for $150,
Right.
you're gonna have Barney Fife pull it off the jack stands.
Well,
and
they got
him
no
and his-
excuses
Right
now.
now,
Him
I
and
mean,
his 3 buddies are walking through the
right
gate
for
free.
150, you at least got to come give it a shot a couple times before
Right.
you destroy it, right? I think
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a brain move.
Right. I agree 100%.
Wow. That's big.
Steve Clayton asking about being at Hickory for the car store race, seeing NASCAR signs
I
going
didn't
on.
notice that.
I didn't either.
I didn't notice that,
saw
but they are
too.
sanctioned. So.
Yeah.
The only track that has changed sanction in the last year has been Caraway. So,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
no longer sanctioned. But
Yeah.
I mean, man, you mentioned earlier that going to have expecting a lot of cars in the limited late model division. Do you know a lot of the guys you're going to be racing against that are new?
Do you care?
No.
I mean, I know, Chase Dixon will be there. He run really good last year in the Mod Street division, which is basically limiteds up
Yeah.
there at Kingsport. Of course, Corey Dunn moving up from mini stocks to, limited. And Corey, I mean, he never got him a win in the mini
But
stock.
he was there.
But I mean, he was in battle for a win every time he went out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And he bought a good car.
Right.
Okay. He bought a good car, and I'm not going to advertise whose car it is, but he bought a real good car.
Right.
And
Good equal opportunity show here.
yeah, that's right. He bought a real good car, and he bought a winning engine.
Right.
He bought good stuff.
Yeah.
So I look for him to be. I've talked to him 3 or 4 times back and forth, and
Right.
and I look for him to be a real good candidate for Rookie of the Year anyway, and if not, be up there beating and banging.
Right.
Some of the other guys, I've heard of being up there. You know,
Kenny Lang mentioned Josh Gobble.
Yeah, Josh Gobble. I mean, you know, Josh was always a threat. Anytime he was in a mini stock, he was always a threat.
Right.
He'll be good. And then what was that guy's name? He won the championship a couple of years ago. I think something.
Matt Taylor, he ain't raced many years.
Yeah, that 26 car, what was his name again?
I can't believe you went there.
Wow.
Gosh.
Poor Carl.
The line has been set.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I'm liable to show up. He's liable to wear me out. But that's all right.
It's possible.
You know, whatever. I've been there before. I mean, you know what? If there's anybody here who can tell you what that tailpiece looks like, I can tell you what every one of the LPP ones look like, and I can tell you what that 26 looks like. I mean, that's just one of the things. But I think it's going to be a couple things different this year, I hope.
Right.
Preston McGee says bring a car, he'll drive it and make some money.
That's right. Old Preston.
Whoever said that he could drive? That's what I want to know. Whoever said that?
Look here, Preston's like me. Preston, he's like a bulldog. You know, you can't call him Bulldog. Matt Taylor's the original Bulldog. I shouldn't have said that. They said, what are we going to call Preston? We'll call him a bulldozer.
I don't know. I was down there the first time he got in the car. What happened the first time he got in the car?
He hit the wall coming
Like
out of
hell.
turn 4.
He killed
That was
it.
in Mike Looney's car.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. And it was
was.
set right there. Preston got out, and I didn't know I had to lift the car. You know?
Yeah.
Nah, I think a tie rod or a ball rod, something broke.
It hit pretty hard.
Preston, he's a good guy, and I mean, he's one you could put in a car, and I mean, he'll bring you the steering wheel back. I mean, he's going for the win.
Right.
End of story.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, he brought the steering wheel back a couple times with
Yeah,
him and
he
Kyle
did.
Dudley, I believe. So. That's a sore subject, so that'll get him going.
It'll be all right.
Oh, man. Chris Horton chiming in, wanting to know if 604 will still be competitive with the limited late model rules. I'm going to assume you're talking about Southern National, and if you are, Boo Boo Dalton run second with the 604 this past weekend. I believe he said he was in between a built motor and a Harrington, so they got the rules right for sure.
The Harrington won it, and Boo Boo was in a 604.
Boo Boo's racing a new track this Saturday night.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, headed to Bowman Gray. And he's not going to Ace Friday. He did tell me that out here earlier today, so... Thought that was interesting. He said that he's won so many races there. He just he feels like unless there's somebody different there to race, that he doesn't feel like there's a reason for him to go. So
he's in a different class there.
He is for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe that's good. maybe it's like the Kres VanDyke deal.
It is.
Maybe it's good. Let some new blood maybe win a race. Get some
for sure.
Sounds like Boo Boo's calling him out.
Well, sort of.
He's calling.
Realistically,
right? No, he's true though, right?
I'm not.
Linebear needs to take his car. I saw him and his dad at Bowman Gray Saturday night. They're just two of the coolest people you'll meet in your life, man. They were awesome.
That dude had the greatest one-liners on this show we've
They're
ever
just good people.
Yeah, they're awesome.
They're
Nice as they could
people.
be, man.
I
thought he was going to bake me a cake or something. I didn't know. They're super nice.
They would have done probably.
We were talking about cakes during the pre-show.
Hey, this is the truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wow.
So where are you hiding that cake?
Oh man,
Hey, I missed that.
Oh no, you don't either.
Langley kept asking, "Are the mics hot?"
Yeah, I asked Doc like 47 times.
I was trying to figure out how to turn these mics on.
Marlo said multiple times, lineback is his new hero.
Oh, and speaking of Marlo, okay,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's on here.
this
I ain't
was
seen
bad.
it.
This
You get your ass whooped on your
No,
birthday?
wait.
Almost, okay, almost last week.
Last week he comes. We
He
ended
was
the
storming
show.
in the door right after we shut down last week.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, literally, Doc was pushing the button to go off.
And here come Marlo blasting through the front door, knocking it off the hinges to come beat the hell out of Langley. It was awesome.
Hey,
He's
he
like, I
coming
done
through
had
that door.
6 beers. I'm ready to go.
Oh, boy.
I didn't hear that part.
He come through that door like John Wayne swagger. Boy,
He was ready.
he was
For sure.
he was strutting.
He'd been at the racetrack, both days. I think he went to Hickory and then to Ace to test, so he'd been a little bit busy. But he came over. He wanted to join in on the fun over here. Either that or whip my ass, one or the other.
Yeah,
he wants to. I think he wants to do that on air. So Marlo's kind of a big boy.
That'll be funny.
He likes to
It
fight.
won't be all that funny over here in my seat. I don't know.
Hey,
Yeah.
speaking of fighting, who's your biggest rival you've had in racing?
That B99 truck back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
I got a picture of you
Man,
without
his
your
eyes
shirt
lit
on
up
trying
right
to fight. It's great. I should have pulled that out.
The B99 guy, or you remember the guy in the little Scirocco? You remember that? We flipped him upside down.
Gordon Wingfield.
Yes.
Yeah. It was y'all that flipped him over. I
Yes.
didn't remember that, but okay.
Let me tell you.
I got pictures of that somewhere too.
We were sitting.
Like y'all picked it up and flipped it
Oh,
over?
they literally
we
picked
turned
it up
it over.
off the scales and flipped it over with him inside the car.
That is awesome.
We
How do you
got
not
so
have video
sick.
of that?
It was back in the day. We didn't have video cameras.
We were winning quite a bit, and this guy shows up in a Scirocco.
Yeah.
I think I'm saying that right.
Yep.
Scirocco.
Yep.
He shows up in this little front-wheel drive Scirocco. Here he goes, this little thing. And man, where did this thing come from? So I go from the hot dog to the bun, I guess, and he's winning. And I said, man, this is crazy. Whose bright idea was to let a front-wheel drive, all souped up here, run against us? Here we are running stock Mustangs. Well, the track wouldn't do nothing about it. Well, we took it in our own hands. We walked up. He won the race. We rolled out of the car. He rolled up on the scales, and back in the day, the scales were in the ground. Right. Yeah. Well, while he's bolted in that little car, all proud because he just won that race.
He didn't have his seatbelt on anymore.
4 or 5 of us grabbed a hold to that car, told it not to come back. We flipped it right on its lid.
That was the end.
Yeah. That was it.
That's how racing. That's what we were talking about. That's how it used to
Racing
be, right?
used to be so much fun.
Stuff.
Now he'd went to jail.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Oh,
exactly right. Or you'd have been lifetime banned.
Oh,
You'd have been lifetime banned. God forbid you did something good. You're indefinitely suspended.
$300
Wait a minute.
fine
At any
and
other track,
lifetime
what track was that?
Oh,
Come
yeah.
on.
Your ass wasn't going to jail.
Yeah. No,
You still won't go to jail.
look here. They had videotapes of it trying to sell it next week.
Right, for sure.
People file charges nowadays. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody wants to file
Yeah.
charges.
We had that one, and you remember back in the day, it was 12. He's still racing me. Jesse Opp. You remember Jesse Opp?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. Every week, this unnamed person that run the track I'd sit on the pole.
Person. The white hat.
I would sit.
Unnamed person. He didn't.
I'd qualify up front. I'd sit on the pole. We'd come through. We'd get in a driver's meeting. He'd say, "All right, you're starting last." Why? Well, I don't know. Puts on a show. So I'd always get up through there, and there was 2 or 3 of them that they didn't want to be passed. So I'd do whatever it took with that Earl Yates bumper to pass them. I mean, I'm sorry. Train's coming through. Get off the tracks. So it was quite a few pictures on the internet floating around. I'd
He's
win
still making money over
Yeah.
here.
Hey,
He's got 2 phones in his lap.
CT is rolling.
I mean,
Okay.
we rock and
They
roll.
got a bushel barrel. They're just scooping it in, right? They're just,
We can tell you your bedtime story and make money too right here. So me and Jesse's had quite a few.
Yeah, I remember some of
We've
those.
had quite a few scuffles. I tried to get away from that. Once you get that little thing called business owner,
Right.
boy, that does a number on your fighting days.
Right.
And then this cute little girl come along named Whitney, and Lord help me, she told me, she said,
now you're
"Well,
train crashed, aren't you?
yeah, don't be fighting no more." So I tried to tell her to turn her head and go back to the trailer.
Now, did I see a picture of a ring or something yesterday? Is that what I seen?
They were cruising.
Hey, he's talking about working all the time. He's been in the freaking Bahamas like for 2 months or something.
He went cruising for 6 months. There
Hey,
was
look here.
4,000 pictures on his Facebook feed.
Look here, I was on that cruise ship trying to figure out how to get one of them tugboats. Could you imagine what you could charge out in the middle of the ocean to drag that thing in?
That's a record guy right there.
I mean, we doing. But yeah,
That's
we'd,
not even by the mile. That's got to
nah.
be just an hourly time.
man, that's by the rotation.
There you go.
Every time that propeller turns.
Now I see why you and Lancaster get along
Oh,
so good.
man.
It's just by the
Hey,
pulling
I'm
levers
his
and
idol
making money.
student right there,
Yeah,
buddy.
there you go.
Yeah, you seen a picture of it, Mr. Austin, and that was going to be announced tomorrow. But just so,
Well, I guess
You
it's
heard
been
it,
announced.
boom! You heard it here first on
More
Race
breaking
22.
hey, here comes that radio sound. Sorry, Whitney. But yeah, me and Whitney been together about 5 years, and we were going to do it on.
She was going to tell her parents tomorrow,
I
and
thought
now
I
they
seen
heard it on Race 22.
Listen, that's another one of those text message things. I thought I seen it on Facebook.
No, son of a.
You see right here.
It happens to me all the time. I understand.
Man.
You got to be careful what you tell
Lord.
him.
It is what it is.
He'll snap you.
Wow.
It's good to go now, boys.
Yep.
But
sorry,
yeah, we went on that cruise, and man, you remember Sean Lowry? He bought one of, like, I'd race a car a year in mini stock, and he'd buy it and he'd race. Anyway, Sean, he was going with us, him and his wife, and I was going to hide the ring and stuff in their bag. I've had this ring since December trying to get this right. So we go to the Bahamas. What a perfect time to do this.
Blue water, cocktails.
Couldn't get the ring through the customs. Note I wasn't going to be able to. Left the ring at home. I said, all right, because I didn't want to get busted at the airport. What are you going to do? And lo and behold, my bag got checked at the airport. So
Yeah, but you should have given it to your buddy's wife.
they couldn't go. Oh. They like everything changed.
Oh,
So we went on to the Bahamas without the ring. She gets, we're at the Bahamas and last day, and she says, man, I really thought you was going to propose today.
there's no tax there, though.
I know, right? You should have seen some of the things I could have bought
Yeah.
for $40 on that boat. Okay? And $25 off the boat. But
man.
anyway, we get back, and, after church on Sunday, I'm going to have to pray when I get off this mic
I guarantee
here.
it.
I understand.
Doc does every week.
He was listening to Metallica before the show as loud as he could, and I asked him if that's what his church group plays.
I asked her on Easter Sunday.
Oh, that's cool.
So I figured, it'd be a good day to try to remember until I realized Easter changed everywhere. Man, there's nothing in this thing easy.
Nope.
So,
Hey, Chris Crosby wanted us to ask you a question.
Yeah, I've seen
okay?
that.
Oh, here he is.
Yeah.
He
This
wants-
is my man right
He
here.
wants to
He's
know
pissed, man.
if you can get the car to him so he can start preparing it.
Yeah, he wants to work on something.
Shh, Chris, we wasn't telling him this. I mean, right now everybody's sitting there
He
thinking
said-
y'all have had this car for 6 months.
We race soon is what
That's what he said.
It'll be all right. Hey, you know what? Chris, he'll be all right. We'll start on it Saturday morning.
We'll get to it. We
Yeah.
got it on the back burner right now.
Chris is a man right there, buddy. If you don't know Chris, man, first time I met the guy was at, I think we was at Motor Mile, and I just spoke to him. I can't remember which one of the drivers outrun me. Julia Landauer. I led almost the whole race. 2 laps to go. Something about 2 laps to go. I don't even want to. I don't know that I want to lead
like
until
to see it, right?
Yeah. I see that white flag come out, and I'm always looking at a bumper again. I'm like, what the heck? But anyway, Julia, she passes me 2 or 3 laps to go, wins the race, and I think after the race I walked up and I congratulated him and talked to Chris, and I've seen him 15,000 other times after that, and the more I got to talk to him, man, he's just like Lee. He's such an awesome guy. I mean,
Smart guy.
oh my gosh, you wouldn't. It's unreal. I'm glad to be with him.
I guarantee it. And, he is the guy who coined the phrase, just skew it.
Oh yeah.
So,
Hey, I talked to Randy earlier today. They said they wasn't checking that this way.
Preston McGee said, Preston said
That's why they
that
can
was
wait
him
till
that passed
Saturday.
you. He said that was him that passed you, not her.
Oh no, that was a different instance.
Preston McGee passed you and won a race?
That's
Yes.
pretty sad right there.
Cut this damn thing off.
2 laps to
Is
go.
this the any car thing again, or are we late model?
No,
No, it's a late model.
I'm sorry.
Like I've been a bridesmaid so many times. I think that's why I had to ask Whitney to marry me this time. I wanted to.
I'm glad we got that out there. I mean, we're breaking all kinds of damn news here tonight. She's
Coming live this week on Race 22.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was terrible, Langley.
Hey, man, come with no warning.
Gosh
It came
almighty.
with no warnings. I didn't know.
It was horrible. Preston passed me with 2 laps to go, and this is what me and you was talking about when we done that earlier in the year.
Right.
We go over in the attack area, and we're sitting over in the attack area, and I had a Billy Banks motor. He had a Billy Banks motor.
Right.
We go through the motors, check the cams, everything's right, check the carburetors on these things. Something so stupid on Preston's carburetor meant nothing. Nothing.
Right.
In my eyes, Preston McGee won that race. Fair and square.
I'm sure in his eyes he won too.
Oh, yeah. Well, he did. He passed me. I mean,
Right.
even though that carburetor was illegal.
Did-
Preston passed me, and he done it right. You know, he passed me. And we got in a tech. And I didn't agree with that. Man, they brought me that trophy and handed it to me. And I was like, man, this just ain't right. My motor come from the same guy, same carburetor, same everything. This ain't right. But, you know, that was that win I was talking about up there that was give to me and I didn't consider a win.
Right, sure.
That's
Well,
it.
you said it wasn't right. Did you hand him the trophy?
And the money?
Well, you know, I tried to hand him the money, but he was too pissed at that point, so he left. And, you know, that trophy.
So you weren't willing to give him the trophy?
Hey.
You could take the cash. That's awesome.
I felt bad for him. But my feeling bad, you remember at Derek Lancaster we keep talking about?
Yeah.
Man, I mean, you know, the money's already made out to me. What a hassle to have to cash it and write another check.
Wow. Wow. Kenny Lang asked an interesting question earlier, talking about the shock rule at Motor Mile in the limited division. He said, do you think that keeps guys like Boo Boo and Mac Little and guys like that from coming to Motor Mile to race?
Yeah and no.
Well, they got no excuse this year, right? Because they're going to offer to have those shocks there for them to race.
Correct.
So
You don't have to buy them.
No.
you do not have to buy
You
them.
just
No.
use
If
them.
you tear up a shock,
Then you buy it.
Yep.
you bought it.
Yep. It's a pretty good deal.
That is a good deal.
It's really good. I mean, I was one of those guys that really
Wow.
hated those shocks.
That's a good deal.
I hated those shocks. I was one of the guys that the past couple of years I hated those shocks, and I was always trying to find an edge with those shocks. But after you ride on them so long, it's just like anything else. Okay. 20 years ago, here's the way I tell everybody. You know what? Those shocks put a driver back in the seat.
100%.
Okay, it's none of this bump stop. Well, guess what? You just go to the corner, the car's going down, the car's going to stay down. All your geometry's right. Here it is. Nah, you're going to go down in the corner, you're going to bounce 6 to 7 times like a basketball. You're going to hit the gas, the front end's going to come 4 foot off the ground. Repeat.
I think it's easier on the parts. I mean, to be real honest, like we're starting to see all kind of stuff. I don't think people have realized that, you know, as hard as we're bump stopping on late model stock cars now, all kind of things are starting to break.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, it's the path of least resistance. It's you know, motor mounts or I mean, we can only take so much load in so many places. So I like that shock rule for the simple fact of I think it lets a guy's equipment not get completely just beat to dog at a rate of 10 times what it normally would. You could still run that car 4, 5, 6, 7 years. You're not just, you know, and a lot of those cars are older anyway, so they're not completely crushed in a terrible position.
It puts a whole nother
I mean, Kingsport did
perspective
it,
in
and
it.
it proved that it worked, and then they've taken it to the new level. You know, they did it before Kingsport did it, right? So, I mean, I think it's a win.
Yeah.
And they're not expensive. If you wanted to buy 4 to test, you can easily do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're not that bad. I think they're
That's not what
$100 or so.
Preston says they're bad, as in he hates those shocks. That's what he said. He said those shocks suck. My damn truck has better shocks.
He's true. I mean, like I said.
But everybody's on the same thing, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you go down in the corner.
I don't think
you're
gonna better.
You're gonna bounce. There it is. These guys. This is one thing that me and Carl was actually talking about the other day. That track's been closed for a year. There's 20-some cars registered. My business is right there. Standing in my office, I can hear the cars at the track. I can tell you when somebody's there.
Right.
On our lunch break, don't think we ain't up there seeing who's
exactly
up there. Okay?
Right, for sure.
Scouting them out.
All right, we're going to look. And, you know, these 20-some cars that have never been there, nobody's practicing on these shocks.
Right. Except Chase Dixon.
Chase Dixon was there. Hey, he was there.
Yeah, he was there today, too.
Was he?
Yep.
All right. That's
Test
good.
and tune.
We got testing going
on outside.
He's got a pro on the front
Fast
of the
and not
Penske
so
on the back.
furious out
I think
there.
you just bring out the worst or best in these people
Look
around
here.
here. This don't happen on any other show.
I think it's
normally
the guy.
we hear gunfire.
Oh,
Nah, but it's darker than that outside by now before the gunfire. You don't hear gunfire.
the guy we run out of the road trying to get here on time. I'm pretty sure that was him. And I'm not sure. You know,
Yeah.
he looked pretty pissed when he went out of the road.
There's 40 people standing here in front of this house, and I come up here.
Yeah,
Great.
they have their own test and tune.
Yeah.
I hope I lock my truck.
They don't don't rob you, really. They don't. It's weird. They don't really rob
I left
us.
the damn keys in mine on purpose.
Right. What did you bring? What you driving? What do you got?
Silver
Inquiring minds want to know what you're driving these days. Got a BMW. It's
not
rolling
driving
up in.
shit.
Right. This guy got more cars than I do. It's balling. What do you got?
I'm driving the Silver Bullet because I
That
could
thing
put
is
$10 in it and ride for like 3 weeks. So.
Hey, only dude I know that got kicked out of the Enduro before he even
I
got there.
know.
I heard about
I was
that.
behind that. Too.
That was horrible.
so sad.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
Keep that damn
And
car.
how do you break down so much?
Huh?
I'm all the time seeing you break
Oh,
down.
he's coming back.
I've never broke down. Just breaks on it and I get it fixed. Everything's fixed on it. It's brand new. I'm driving a $12,000 vehicle. It's worth $1,200.
You got towing insurance?
If not, we can hook you up. You know a guy. He knows a guy.
Let me give you a business card. Maybe a T-shirt too.
You'll take a T-shirt. I can
Thanks once again to my sponsor, Champion Automotive in Greensboro, North Carolina. Troy and Bobby McCarty.
There for a while, they didn't like you saying that. Every week, I ain't making it. I broke down. I got to go home.
Man, this is brutal in here today.
I told Bobby on that one show, I was like, dude, you're going to have to fix his car at some point or another here.
It's getting ready.
I mean, he's going to have to postpone the retirement tour if you don't get the car fixed. I'm telling you, man.
There's nothing left to fix on it.
We good to go now. No longer needed.
And the Silver Bullet, you drug that thing out, been setting for like 10
4
years.
I
years.
was at your
Yeah.
house the other day. It looked
Yeah.
nice. It was starting to
Drove
dial
it
her
to-
in.
drove
You get it painted yet?
No, I'm going to in 2 weeks. I drove 314 miles yesterday in the mountains.
Shit.
Yeah.
Did you have any beer?
314 miles. No, I made it here, didn't I? No, man. No.
Oh boy.
That was at Bowman Gray. Well, no. There is a team there sponsored by Coors Light. So.
Right. Coors Light and strippers or something, man. Didn't I see a stripper on the car at some point?
It used to be Silver Moon or something. I don't know what it was.
And I just seen a picture of
Yeah.
a stripper posing on the car or
Yeah.
something a couple years
He
ago.
used to have a girl on the pole in the back of the car.
How about Brendan Poole?
Yeah.
How about it?
I talked to him. Yeah, that's awesome.
Tell us more.
I can't. I
Why?
promised I wouldn't. Secrecy.
What?
But,
Oh, God.
The mics are off.
I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
yeah, exactly.
What
Turn the
can there
mics
be
off. You're good.
secret?
but you'll see him more than once.
Yeah, I figured
It's
that.
not a one-off. But I'll tell you what, I really hate it, Ray.
That
'cause
place owns the
There was
place.
30 friggin' modifieds there, 27 limiteds,
Right.
150,000 mini stocks, like
The place that he
29
drives for
street
owns the
stock.
car, right?
Huh?
The place that he drives for owns the car.
I got two
and they're
of them.
going to try to do 3
Yeah.
to 5 races.
I asked him if he's any good, and they got a little bit of practice in. He said, well, I was running,
Corey didn't even acknowledge you.
No, he didn't even look up.
he said, I was running 13.7s. I said, well, they've been fast as I've heard. It's about a 13.6, 13.5. He said, yeah, I'll be all right. I said, well, first time here, it's probably decent, you know.
Well, I read on Facebook he'd be good for a caution. I read that.
Yeah, everybody said he sucks and wrecks shit all the time, but I just
I've
can't
never
figure it
seen
out.
that.
Yeah, he's known for taking care of his equipment.
Yeah, but if you go to Bowman Gray automatically, then you just hit shit, they say.
Well, yeah, if you don't
Something's gonna get sore up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the go-to
Yeah.
phrase if they don't know who he is.
Yep.
Yeah, Rodney Cook went there at one day. I thought, who the hell's this guy? This guy's
Yeah.
he sucks. He's going to tear stuff. I was like, do you know who this is?
Right.
You know, I mean, you know, but
He had a ball.
Yeah.
When we
I
going to
still
get you
think
to
he
Bowman
did.
Gray?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
take
Dead
your time over
silence.
there.
Kyle Barnes went, right?
Oh yeah, Kyle.
Wesley
went.
Thomason went?
Kyle went a
Get
couple
one of them
times.
Lee Pulliam performance rides over
Yeah.
there.
Oh,
Hey,
boy.
doing work.
Dude,
Boo-boo's
hey,
going.
hey,
Boo-
hey,
right?
mean,
Hey,
you
I tell you
can't be
what, those
scared.
cars used to be 20 years ago. They were some beat up junk. I was at Dylan Ward's the other day, and
They're nice.
shout out to Dylan Ward. He's got some of the nicest cars I've ever seen in my damn life.
Yeah, I mean, a lot better than this crap sitting here.
Well,
Both kiss my
Oh
ass.
boy.
I didn't say nothing about
my
this
ass.
stuff, but anyway,
He was
those
bleeding
cars
there,
over there,
That's kind of what it sounded like.
those cars ain't no junk no more. They're top
They're-
of the line, the baddest,
they're
some of the
pretty
baddest
nice.
ass cars you ever see anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Michael Adams, Tommy Neal, Stoltz.
Are you
I mean, a lot
drinking?
of- what?
Jeez.
Huh?
Nothing.
I don't see no performance center cars running over there.
I guess
Boo-boo.
not anymore.
Huh?
Boo-boo will be.
Over there.
I don't know. I used to come and buy parts for one guy every damn week. He don't race no more though.
A lot of them don't race no more.
Hey, if y'all can talk Chris and Lee into it, I am game.
I think you should go.
I think you should try it one
Chris
time.
is on here
it
listening.
would just
so-
take
Oh,
a
boy.
I imagine
Just
a
do it
heightened,
one time.
I mean,
heightened crash clause. you'd be in.
One of the 100-lapper races. I mean, and everybody, they don't go over and just kill each other anymore. The damn cars are worth too much now. And all
Yeah.
that going backwards and hitting each other head on, they don't really do that no more. Now,
Well, that remains
revving
to be
and
seen.
Man,
Yeah.
it's cool because it's a bunch of drivers that are out there, and that's what them shocks are about at Motor Mile.
yeah,
You know what?
puts it in drivers' hands.
You put it back, and there's this 3/8 mile track that's unmentionable under a mountain, it puts a steering wheel back in a driver's hand down at that place too. If it had a couple people back down there, it was really fun.
Better management, you mean?
Right. Yeah. That's. I think Bowman Gray is the same way. That track's flat. I mean, I won back in the day. What's White Hat's brother's name?
Danny.
White Hat's brother's name.
I won
at Victory Stadium.
I won at Victory Stadium. Dickie Wilson. Yep. Everybody knows Dickie Wilson. I show
Victory
up.
Stadium.
Victory
How
Stadium.
friggin' old are you?
Wow. This was in the 90s.
Man,
So
I
early
was
90s.
a teenager.
I seen old pictures. I thought it closed down like many, many years ago.
No, it opened back up. Danny opened it for a year, year and a half.
Oh.
Yeah, something
I
like
showed up, Dickie Wilson, omelet shop car. I've got a Kowalski motor, a KLB car. I'm like
Living the dream.
19, 20 years old. Ain't got a clue.
Kerry Bodenhammer just perked up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm out there. I'm rolling. I had this big Kowalski Ford motor come from Posey Weddle. J93-9 car back in the day.
Jesus, we got some old
He's
names.
firing, ain't he? He's
Dude,
firing.
This thing was wicked. We go down there. I run second. Dickie Wilson walks up one day. He said, unhook that sway bar right there. I said, excuse me? He said, unhook that sway bar. I was like, yeah, old man, whatever. He walks off. I run second. He walks up one day and he says, man, he said, come here. Takes the hood off the omelet shop car. He didn't unhook it. There wasn't even a sway bar to be found in this car. I walked up to Earl. I said, Earl, yeah, let's take that sway bar out. All right. We take a sway bar out. Yes, sir. The old omelet shop was flipping that omelet behind that big Ford that night. Dickie walks up to me after the thing. He said, after the race, I'm standing over there grinning ear to ear. Dickie walks up and he said, you can put that damn sway bar back in that car. I said, oh, boy. But, Victory Stadium, that's the same as Bowman Gray.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Oh, they're a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I learned thank God there wasn't a wall there. First time I was there, I sailed off down in the corner. Come from Franklin County. Sure. Let me just say, I took off through the grass going helicopter ride.
Chris Crosby
so
wants
what
to
I
know
missed?
what he missed.
What I missed.
Going to Bowman Gray, buddy.
Yep, that's where you're headed next.
Hey,
so
help
you
me.
Be ready.
Help me, Chris. Chris, please, call in, dial in, get your butt down here or something.
Call in, dial.
They're wanting to go to Bowman Gray. I told them if they could convince you and Lee, we was game.
Lee's going to have no part of this
Yes,
whatsoever.
he's not even dignified.
Hey,
to
look
answer.
here, my
He
phone.
just turned his computer off.
My phone's over there ringing. Ryan's going to answer the phone. He's like, yeah, I'll shut him up.
Chris Crosby says ship it.
Ship it. That's right. So. Hey, we ain't only going to ship it. We're going to skew it. We'll save the last one for later.
You're taking it to the track. You could actually skew it, and it won't matter.
Oh, yeah.
They don't care.
They told me the other night they had early tech, and I walked up, talked to a driver that we've known for a long time. Kim used to love him. You know what I'm talking about.
Harry Balls. Yeah.
Harry Balls. Whoa, my God.
Let's stop right here and let's try to. This is like our earlier conversation. Let's stop right here and not anyway. Not anyway. This might be something that we ought to hit on so the viewers may know what's happening.
He said they had tech, and he said about 4 or 5 cars had a big, huge cam in it, and they said, "That's what they did, kick him out." I said, "No, I told them that they could race this week. Just fix it when you bring it back next week." I said, "What the hell?"
Oh,
yeah.
Awesome. I wish I got told that.
Yeah. That's how they roll over there. It's good times, though.
Wow. Preston said that Victory Stadium had negative banking.
You got that right.
The rain would run off that way.
Negative is an understatement for that place.
I'm going to go home and research this place. I don't know nothing about it whatsoever.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
It was cool.
What happened to it?
The city basically shut it down so they could sell the property.
Yeah, it was a football field.
Not that piece of property.
Basically a football. It was like a county football field. I played ball on there in the 80s. But yeah, it was owned by the county, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was like a city field.
Hey, look here. We're supposed to have mufflers in these days, right? They want us to have mufflers down there. Bobby Gillespie.
Oh, God, here we go.
How about spit my drink out on that one?
Bobby Gillespie.
I said.
It's the happiest man on earth.
I said, Bobby, Man said, we got to have a muffler on this Ford. He said, muffler? Where are we going to get a muffler? I said, I don't know. What is a muffler? Oh, yeah, muffler. It just restricts things. I said, okay, what are we going to do? Bobby goes, gets a little piece of metal, puts up on that thing, pop rivets on my pipe, takes a drill. Oh, puts holes all in it. I get down there, and I'm like, man, that's something, Bobby said, let me get the drill. Time we raced. We had that big open hole again, but it looked good because when they come and said, where's your muffler? It was like, hey, right there.
Yeah.
Right.
They, White Hat's brother looked down at it, and whoever
White Hat's brother.
Whatever the inspector in the day, he looked down, he said, hey, that looks good to me. Away we went.
Glenn Reed was probably the inspector.
Glenn Reed, yep. You know what?
He probably disqualified you a few times, didn't he?
No, you know what? Glenn Reed, we won 20-some races in that year in 2000. And by the end of the time, Calvin Yates, he passed away. But Calvin was with us every race. Mm-hmm. We'd win the race. Calvin, at 9 a.m., I'm down there ready to start thinking about racing that day and loading the car or building the car or whatever. We wanted to race that day. Calvin's at the store picking up a Busch Light. He's ready to go.
Important things.
So by 11 o'clock.
Calvin's got his priorities
right.
He had them straight.
He saw Corey down there, and him and Corey picked up their beer for the day.
By 11 o'clock at night, we're in the pits, and we done won the race. Glenn Reed walked by, and he'd take all three of us, top three, and he'd say, well, y'all want to check tonight? Well, Calvin would throw a few choice words out there, and he'd say, I don't care if you tear the whole motor down. You ever heard that expression?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there was my motor splatter on a blue tarp.
All over.
Glenn Reed didn't play.
Glenn Reed didn't play. We were down there one night. We sat there and sat there and sat there. Come up and they said, Calvin said the same speech. Glenn Reed said, well, you know what? They want to see your motor again. I said, they just seen it last night. Earl put it together this morning. Earl Yates would wake up at 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, start building the motor. 3 o'clock, we put it on the trailer. 8:30, we won the race, okay?
Right.
Earl was that kind of guy.
Right.
So they tore our motor down repeated times. This night, Earl said they just tore the motor down last week. Why y'all want to see it again? We're going to look at it. Earl said, that's fine. Jimmy Carson backed his wreck truck over there. We pulled the motor. We took it over there. We set it in the back of Glenn Reed's truck, complete, together. He looked at Glenn Reed.
There you go.
He looked at
you. Can take it apart.
You can see Earl at 11 o'clock doing this.
Right.
Earl looked at Glenn. He said, you just give me a call when you get that thing looked at, and we'll come get it and put it back together for you. We get in the Q van and leave. We gone. There goes my motor. I don't know where it went. Earl, next week, by Saturday, he'd have me on the motor sitting there.
When I say Glenn Reed didn't play, I'm being serious, man. Joe Gibbs was there. Coy was racing for Mike Sharp.
Yeah.
And I guess Joe Gibbs came over when they was doing tech or something, and Glenn told him, said, I don't give a damn who you are. You get the hell out of here. I'm like, Jesus, man.
Glenn Reed did not. He didn't. No.
The track, they trying to cater to him and everything. No, not Glenn.
Yeah. Now that them days are gone, I can tell myself the one time that he had me. I called Race Engineering, or Racer Walsh one. Ordered aluminum drive shaft. Oh, man, it was nice. I put this thing in. I told Earl. Earl said, yeah, put it in there. I want nobody. Who's going to check a drive shaft? Somewhere between Busch Light 26 and 52, Calvin must have told somebody.
Somebody found out. Yeah, somebody. Don't tell nobody. We're running the drive.
We're over in Tech, and I swear to you, Glenn Reed walks up to me, and he says, well, boys, jack your cars up, put them on 4 stands. We're checking the drive shaft. I said, we're checking what? He said, checking the drive shafts. I said, oh, God.
We may have a problem.
We all had this bright idea. We're going to paint this thing white.
Right.
And we're going to take these fine little metal shavings off the grinder. We're going to put it in it. Then we're going to paint it white again. Magnet going to stick to it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of that performance center trick
No.
going on.
I have heard of this before, but I've not been a part of it.
So we do it. Glenn Reed gets underneath there, sticks the magnet to it. Ding. He said, that's good. Takes a screwdriver or a hammer, whatever he had that night, and he hit it. A piece of metal goes thump. Okay. Mine said, ding.
Yeah, it was.
I said, busted. I went stand outside the car. Well, he just thought it was humorous, so he played us a little tune down there. Ding, 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 ding. He rolls out underneath it. He looked at me. He said, here's what's going to happen. I said, yeah, I know. He said, when you come back next week, you're going to have some metal on that drive shaft. I said, yes, sir.
Just didn't quite have enough metal on it.
Oh, no, them paint flakes, he wasn't playing with that.
That's awesome.
Wow.
We used to try such stupid stuff, right? And had no idea it was working. That's terrible.
We tried it to see what would happen.
Wow. You never know where we're going on.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Nah.
It's always the cheating, though, if it's racers
It is
around.
the cheating a lot.
It's creativity.
Yeah.
Creatively modifying
Not
things.
cheating unless you
That's
get caught.
the word
He
I
did
was
get
looking
caught,
for.
so.
That's what it is.
I'm going to get throwed off the radio show here.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nope.
Nah, we done broke all your news, so
Oh, yeah.
we're
Here
done
we go.
with you.
Hey, we're done. We'll talk to y'all later.
Gosh.
I don't know what you do to get thrown off this show, really.
I mean, if Corey ain't got thrown off, ain't nobody going to.
He's been trying.
I mean,
Like, aggressively.
They can all kiss my ass.
I mean, we listen. I mean, how special you are not, okay? We let Kim on the radio, okay?
Oh, boy.
Just saying.
Hey.
Here we go.
Listen,
I mean,
one night.
and we let Doc talk.
One
Poor old
night,
Doc.
I'm telling you, he's going to wake up. You're going to have sliced him, and nobody's going to be sad. Everybody's going to have seen it coming. Right?
Goodfellas. Watch me Goodfellas where he wakes up looking at, yeah. Karen, put the gun down.
Hey, I want
I
to be on
prefer
the
that over the
following
Lorena
show.
Bobbitt
Yeah.
style. Okay? I
Either
just
way.
wanna tell you.
Either way, nobody would
I just
be.
prefer to die.
Hey, when you have that show, I want to be the guest.
And now our new host.
Wow. Yeah. Good.
Where are you going this weekend, Langley?
Motor Mile. I may go to
Motor
Ace
Mile.
Friday, too. So.
What, are you looking?
Yeah.
Get real.
But no. Where are you going?
He's going
Yeah, where
to
are you
Ace and
going?
then Bowman Gray.
Yeah, I know he's going to Bowman Gray.
Yeah.
We already know that.
Yeah, I'm going to Bowman.
I mean,
What are you, a
I'm
horse?
just saying, we know.
Mr. Ed over here.
It's Bowman Gray,
Rutgers.
dog. It's Bowman Gray.
Well,
I love this.
yeah.
Was there a doubt?
No, there was no
Exactly.
doubt.
That's what I said.
Have I not been there for opening night the last 37 years? No.
37. How old are you?
Huh? I'm counting since my dad took me.
Oh, okay.
Since I was 5. I haven't missed one.
Yeah. He's terrible.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry. Langley's terrible.
That's
I don't even want to know, but yeah, that's where I'm gonna go. And then I wanted to go to Motor Mile. It was my plan, but it got weather
since
kind of
Bowman
screwed
Gray
that up.
got put back.
Yeah, weather really screwed that up. So
Man, I painted the inside of my trailer. Put an extra cooler in there, too. No, you ain't coming.
Leaded and unleaded, like the Lancaster.
the
Cha-ching.
Lancaster. I said, "You got anything to drink?" He said, "Daryn, said get one of them coolers right there." This is no shit. There was 7 coolers. Opened one up. I said, "Well, that's nice, but I can't do that right now." Opened the second one up. I can't do that now. I said, "Any damn one of these things got regular drinks in it?" And they looked at me like I was stupid, And I finally found one at the very end.
They hit it in the back.
Yeah. And then to me, I'm up in the trailer and everything, and everybody's just, this is good times and everything. And I turn around and look, and it's the chaplain coming to pray with everybody, and I'm the only dumbass standing there still with a beer in my hand. Everybody else had enough sense to handle it. I turned around and was like, "Oh, how you doing, sir?"
Wearing race 22 gear.
Yeah.
In on that race 22 credential.
Jesus. It's a wonder we still get that.
Weren't we just talking about that? Sometimes it'd be worth it to pay, right? So you
It
could.
would be. Sometimes.
Uh,
Some places
I
we
just
go
had one.
anyways.
I did.
Or 5.
I had to drive home.
Oh, that sucks. That's the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a drive for you, too.
It's
Like me, I'm like
2
40
hours.
minutes away.
Yeah,
He's
2
like
hours.
2.5 minutes.
To a
Yeah.
half.
Really?
Hey, and I know a good rollback company. They'll come pick you up, take you home. Wait a minute, they're all there with me. This ain't never going to work.
Yeah, no, nobody's coming to get you.
I've got a buddy in Winston. We used to do that. We'd go out somewhere, and we just call him and just ride and roll back home and unload the car in the driveway.
That's a good idea.
It worked like a champ. Like
Sure.
a champ,
That's a
man.
good idea.
Yeah. But,
Roger, you going anywhere this weekend?
I don't know.
Motor
So
Mile.
no.
I don't know. I would like to go to Motor Mile. You've been bitching at me to go to Motor Mile. I'd like to go there.
When was the last time you went to Motor Mile?
With us, I guarantee it.
No,
God, since that was
No.
8
Well, that
years
ain't
ago.
that long.
No way.
That was a long time ago.
That's probably
Yeah,
the
that
last
was a
time
long
you've been.
ride. That was a long day.
Yeah, we went to Motor Mile, and then we went to Franklin County. Okay,
Oh,
so we went and watched a race
Dude,
at
it
Motor
was
Mile,
huge. Yeah,
and
it
then
was
went to
big.
Franklin County during
It's
the
a-
Buck Wild deal.
And drove some
Oh,
road
boy.
through the woods. I don't know.
Yeah.
we went down 5 Mile Mountain.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. In a friggin' big ass BMW,
Yeah.
hauling ass.
I remember
Yeah.
looking out the window like, where in the hell
Who was
are
driving?
we? Me.
He
You?
was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'd roll the window down and I'd look and I wouldn't see nothing
Right. It was like
because
Oh,
the
it's
size of the
something.
road.
yeah, it
It's
was
something 5 miles down.
Yeah,
Right, it was-
yeah. There's no side of the road, and I'm like,
that was a big day.
yeah.
That's a
That
dangerous
was
drive
Buck Wild.
for sure.
That was Buck Wild days.
It was. I don't know which one you were at that point. I don't know if you were at Motor Mile that night or down there
I played the 1 through 5th or 10th
playing with
or
the
whatever.
dude with the antlers.
Buck
what the heck
Wild.
was his
That
name?
dude
I
was
can't remember
awesome.
his
Spider.
I had a
No,
picture
what
of that
Spider?
guy.
No, it was the other dude. Gosh, I wish I could think of
I
his
had a
name.
picture of that
Oh,
guy
yeah, it is
somewhere.
Buck. Buck is his name.
Buck.
Yeah, imagine that.
He had like
Remember the dude who had
he
the
like
antlers,
a-
Buck?
Yeah, he had like a
At Franklin
construction
County?
hat on, and then he had these 2 horns that like came out of it. I think it was
And he'd
red.
been around there forever.
Yeah.
Did it have beers in the side too, or no? It just had deer. I think it may have had beer
Yeah.
cooler
Yeah,
things
it
in the
had
side.
beer
I
holders.
think. I think
Yeah.
it did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
God.
like, what in the hell have
And he
we
was like
done?
he was like the head of something that he shouldn't have been the head of. I don't know.
Head
But,
of officiating.
I don't know. It was we walked in and Roger said, "What the hell is this?" And I had a damn Dodge Caravan racing a wrecker.
They did.
racing
They
like
did.
racing like a Chevy Cavalier, and they were racing the hell out of his
I
cars.
mean, hell out of each other. Like
Yeah.
this is for 10 grand.
This
right
Dodge
here.
Caravan, I swear to God, it was the door kept coming up on the driver's side. It was bungee corded shut.
And they thought it was something special.
Oh, yeah.
We were used to it. You know?
We're like, look at them idiots.
No, that was awesome.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
And Corey comes over to him, man, did you see that? I've seen that my whole life, dog.
seen some
I'm
dude.
sorry.
Some dude threw a ball peen hammer. It looked like it was in slow motion. It hit a dude right in the chest, and then he went and got a fire extinguisher and sprayed all that white foam crap all over him. I said, "This is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life."
Petey Caldwell.
Buck Wild.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Well, whoever it was got kicked out forever, and but they kept getting
Forever is 15 minutes down there.
No, who was it kept getting in trouble all the time?
Man, I'm right
Patrick
here.
Taney?
I'm
Yeah,
right
that's
here.
who it was. It was one of them. It was one of them Janies. Yeah.
Well, that night, the guy
Yeah.
that won
I
got
thought you
in
was
trouble.
talking about me, and I was sitting right here. That's messed up.
He's been kicked out for life about 10 times. so-
Has he?
Yeah, man. I'm
Something
like
like
one of them cats. I just keep coming back.
Keep coming back.
The funniest thing that happened that night while we were there, I'm just, it's normal, everyday activity for me.
Listen, there was nothing normal about this for me. At
These
this
two are
point.
standing there, and the mini stocks just got done racing, okay? And Vincent Campbell.
Like 40
Vincent
races.
Campbell, yeah.
Like
Remember when he
99.
brought that
Yeah.
mini mod or whatever down
Yeah.
there? He done 1, 2, or 3 races in a row. We're
Oh, is
standing
this the
there.
one that kept kicking
Yeah.
everybody's ass?
It was a late model with a
So,
4-cylinder.
Right.
so they
I
pull it
say
over
the
there to
legs-
tech,
I've-
and John Hall walks over, and he goes, "Hey man, you're disqualified." He said, "Well, what the
Head's
hell
big.
for?"
Yeah.
And he's aluminum heads. He said, "Well, you ain't even checked them."
They took
I know
the damn
they're
hood off the
aluminum.
car.
Yeah, it didn't even take. I'm like,
They told him twice during the yellow, said, "Look, quit running out and jumping everybody, or we're going to disqualify you."
Yeah.
And he kept doing it, and he pulled in there. He said, "Up, head's big." I was like, "This dude didn't even take the damn hood off yet."
threw him
Oh,
out.
you just take a late model and downsize it.
That's all
and
that
put
was.
a 4-cylinder in. It had
Yep.
Penske
It's
shocks.
just like the cars at Hickory.
Oh, he
Oh,
killed him.
man.
He was
Yeah.
killing
Yeah.
him.
And
Yeah.
here we're
He
stock
was good.
Mustangs.
Right.
He
Yeah.
was good. Man, he was fast.
It was good stuff, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, for all the bad, Buck Wild was
Buck Wild.
extremely entertaining. I watch those videos every now and then.
Unless
just
you
to
was
laugh.
a star on that thing.
Oh no, I wouldn't want to be that. I mean, hey, that was Kenny Lang's favorite time at Franklin County. I'm just
What
saying.
did?
yeah.
Hell,
What,
remember I just put a video up the other day from the last time I was there.
What
And
did
that
the
wasn't
wall
too long
say?
ago.
Oh, yeah.
When Cubby and
remember the wall was misspelled. What did it say? What was the wall?
Thunded.
Thunder.
It was supposed to be thunder, and it was said thunded.
Thunded.
Yes.
Thunded at Franklin County.
Thunded. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
like
what happened
nobody
was,
noticed it.
No. What happened was
He said the
Corky
guy
was
had-
doing. He had a stroke.
Yeah.
They just
Swear to
kept
God, and he just
Oh,
got
my
the
gosh.
letter wrong.
Yeah, he just kept painting. He was having a stroke the whole time, and
Like,
he.
we got there, and I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, it's spelled wrong. Oh, no, that's normal. He had a stroke while he was painting.
Oh, yeah.
He
I
just
mean,
kept
you know.
going on with it. I'm like, this is the most awesome. It's like going to a different world. It's awesome.
I think Kenny Lang sent me the middle finger for my comment
Like
about it being his
80
favorite
times.
time.
80 times he sent it.
Yeah, I've got it a couple times tonight.
Oh.
Hey, Preston said for you to come on up to Motor Mile. He wants you to come up, and Preston ain't going to be there. He'll make some excuse for not being there. But he said just don't buy a license. So you can't get thrown out if you don't have a license.
Oh, God.
That's rough.
We've established some interesting things this year.
Right. Rules.
Yep. Tracks are looking at all of us going, these guys know way too much. Yeah.
Now, they're more scared that you're sharing it with others.
Yeah, well, that's
all 6 people.
Oh, man. Wow.
Good times.
Good times.
Well, I've established something, which I've known Daryn a long time, but now I just know he was crazier than hell when he was younger.
Hey, you probably ain't heard half the stories.
What'd you say? This was like an hour and a half show, 2 hours?
we got about 21 minutes left. So.
Yeah, that won't. Yeah, we'll pick episode 86 and do it again.
Well, we'll have to get you back when you win.
All right, man. I'll see you Sunday or Monday.
Well, we don't do shows on Sunday. But
there you go. I like it.
I'll
might have to wait a couple of weeks.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, sure. I get kind of old.
I mean, your head will be so damn big if you win this weekend you won't fit through the door over.
Hey, Kres can cut the top off. We got another car. It's all right.
That was good.
Jesus.
Oh, man.
Wow. Do you tell Lee and Kres all your Franklin County stories from back in the day?
Oh man, I'm pretty sure they already knew. I think that's why I had to get down there and beg. I was like, "Come on, man, come on, please."
Reinforce this, reinforce that.
Hey, them videos where you see people sitting on my air cleaner, those are just that's camera tricks. That's not real. I never do that.
Wow.
Oh man.
But I tell you what, them days are back. 10-car invert. You heard about this?
Is that what the final thing they're going to do now is?
We went up there the other day. Here's what it is.
More breaking news.
Breaking news, RACE22. We're gonna have a extended practice.
Right, the qualifying practice.
No, our first practice is extended.
Right. Yep.
Second practice, like you said,
it's
like 7-8 minutes, whatever.
Right.
Qualifying.
Right.
Top 10 qualifiers walk to the start-finish line. Either us or the fans, depending on how they do it, are going to draw. There will be 1 through 10.
Right.
Pole sitter goes first. Pole sitter draws number 9. That's where he starts. Second place draws 1. That's where he starts. All the way to 10.
So basically like it used to be there. Right? Didn't they? You did that like...
Pretty much, but I think it was like 4, not 10.
Yeah.
This goes back to 20-some cars that are registered to run up there.
Right.
And would you say Chase Dixon? We got 1 practicing.
Right.
Awesome.
Hey,
it's pretty interesting.
No offense to the PRW. We're here.
Yeah, no.
But, I can include him. PRW, Jay Hedgecock.
Everybody going to be busy.
Forrest Reynolds, whoever. They're going to be building some front bumpers. I mean, let's think about it.
For sure.
These guys aren't practicing. They're getting on shocks that we're sitting here talking about.
Right.
That they haven't tested on, we know, right?
Exactly.
Right.
What's that going to be? And the track's closed Thursday. It's calling for rain Friday. Hey, boys.
It is calling for rain.
I love it. It could get interesting.
For all them listening, remember that comment, train's coming through and you're on the tracks. We ain't playing, boys.
So has Kres got the front bumper beefed up real good for you?
That's top secret
He's got
information.
the Bowman Gray deal on.
Yeah.
He's ready.
Yeah.
Just in case.
That's LPP top secret. Can't tell you. It's got like a towel that hangs behind my radio.
Here we go.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
awesome.
Jesus, you think you're at a dirt track or something? They do those games. Lee's done them forever, though.
Yeah.
So
this will be my first year. Usually when I have a towel, I'm wiping the sweat off of me, but, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's interesting about, those guys not really testing. I know Corey Dunn's planning to test this week.
Yeah.
But I don't know about the rest of the guys. I don't know. Didn't look like there was anybody else in the picture I seen of Chase Dixon. Of course, it didn't show everything, so there may have been.
Here's what I'm going to say for the guys that have been up there and I don't know. I've heard tell of the times that the guys up there are running. If it's anywhere close, the track, anywhere close to what we was, we run those times at the end of the race.
You heard it here. He's
just
throwing the gauntlet down.
I want it to be a good race. Seriously.
Right.
and I may be the one that qualifies last. I don't know.
Right.
Who knows? But if I do, I do.
Well, you got to qualify in the top 10 to have a chance to redraw there. So
10.
yeah,
I'm
you'll be in there somewhere.
I'm thinking 15, 16.
Make it
Because the top 10, you know, after listening to this radio show, they're going to think, oh, God, here he comes. They're going to hit each other. You know. Here we go.
Wow. Wow. What do you think about the passing dollars, the passing bucks that they're giving for passing positions there? And I guess that goes to the top two. How many they pass? How many? I'm confused on it a little bit. Whether that goes to the top two finishers or whether that goes to the top two people that pass the most cars. I'm assuming that's the way. That's the only way it would make sense.
The way I understand it is your pole sitter and your outside pole on the invert,
right?
Or if they choose to go to 9th and 10th,
right?
They get the passing bucks coming back up through.
Right.
They're the only ones eligible for the passing bucks. If I understood Michelle correctly on that.
Right.
That is supposed to be like the, I'm sorry that you just worked all the past 3 weeks and now you're starting 10th. Here's you some extra money for that front bumper.
Because you're going to need it.
How many people would do it?
10th.
Well, I mean, they're going to have a choice.
Right.
You know,
Well,
They draw.
first and second.
I'm game.
if they're first and second, they got to redraw anyway, so they're going to be eligible wherever they move to.
If
They could elect to go.
They
to
could
whatever
elect. Yeah,
position.
man. Do you think
I
anybody
mean, could
would
they
ever do
elect
that?
to go to last?
Yeah, you can elect. If I draw 6th, 7th,
Right.
I mean, I'm sorry, but, you know, depending on who's back there, I'm probably going on back there anyway.
Right.
See, most racers don't do that anymore.
Not anymore.
Why?
No.
I don't know.
I don't know. And you know,
there's not a
because
lot of
they're
big
scared to put on a good
incentive,
show.
right? Right. It used to be that was a big
Well,
deal, right? Matt McCall. There's a
Matt
kid
McCall
over
ain't scared to do it. He's one that's scared to do it, but that was just one of the few. Last year they got like at Bowman Gray, got the Colors Edge Challenge. They got it like $7,000-$8,000, and the pole sitter, if you can the top 4, you can elect start in the back. And sometimes some people take it, but some of them would never take it. I was like, that's $7,000-$8,000.
Did anybody win it?
Huh?
Did anybody win it?
Yeah, if you're in the top 4 and you get up or back in the top 4, you could split it with whoever. If both of y'all get up there, I think Burt got it, and John Boy and Jason was going to get it that one night, except that didn't work out too good.
I remember that one.
Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, some people have won it, but a lot of them elect not to do it. Which
Right.
I mean, I don't see why, because like Burt Meyer, I see him start last all the time.
Yeah, but
he
if it only costs you
win the race.
If it only cost you $150 to enter, you might think about going to the back.
Hey,
Right.
I'm on that too.
I mean, that's for sure. I don't know,
Maybe we can talk him into a little bit of extra money.
The bonus racing from the back.
Hey, I can remember in the day,
With that deal, I don't think he's going to be giving out any extra money.
Yeah, it'd be probably hard to.
Leon Dalton. Remember back in the day?
Sure.
Okay. The man under the mountain with the white hat, he kept putting all of us in the back. Okay. And finally, all of us kept going to the back.
Should we explain to anybody who the hell he's talking
No.
about?
They know. They know.
And if they don't, they don't want to know.
All of us that kept getting put to the back, we approached the tower one day, and we said, hey, you know what you want to show? You keep putting us in the back. You say that's what the show's about. Put a little money on it. I will say this. Back in the day, we had 20-some mini stocks. We had 15, 20, what was them things called, street stocks or something that Leon and them run?
Pure stocks.
Pure stocks. Leon Moles, remember them?
Yep.
They
Automatic transmission.
Oh, yeah. Man, they would back up. We'd get to the back. Now it made it worth it. You come through there, not only were people thinking, oh, dear God, he's in my rearview mirror.
Right.
But at the end of the night, you got the trophy, the money, the bragging rights, and the bonus money.
Right.
And with people like Calvin Yates and Earl Yates running around, I needed the extra money for the beer.
That's awesome.
Oh, man.
Jesus.
Good times there.
So if you draw a 6 or 7, you're gonna go to the rear.
Yeah.
More than likely.
More than likely. I'm going.
I mean, is Lee in for this, or he's
Yeah,
just
they're
all your
listening to this
decision?
going,
Chris is probably
there
thinking, what
ain't
the
no
hell's he
way."
talking about?
We got this under control. He's just going to drive.
I'm going to 10th. I'm going to the back to
Right.
where I can get money.
Right.
Oh,
If-
back
if
of the
I-
redraw you're talking
yeah,
about.
if I can get the money.
Right.
They're not going to give us anything to go to the back.
Right.
I've watched Stevie Dalton do it 1,000 times.
Right. Yeah.
Problem is, Stevie Dalton had 50 to 75 laps. They cut ours. We got 40 laps.
Right.
He done it against 12 cars. If we got 20, that'd be a little harder, even if they put money on it. So,
right.
10.
Yeah, you're gonna have
with
to
extra
dig
money.
if there's 20.
Shoot. You ever heard of a man called Rayvon Clark?
That's right.
Yeah. He put the big shovel underneath there. I think him and Lee been talking about just how to get the horsepower to the skew. So I think it's going to be okay.
It's going to be all right.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
David West said that Bradley McCaskill made it look easy in 40 laps at Southern National to go from 17th to the front.
Absolutely he did. So, I mean, there you go.
I'm glad to see David West is back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the trip.
He had one of them big hogs under the hood.
I was afraid.
Oh, man.
That we lost him forever.
You know.
Well, Preston said you heard it here first. It's official. I don't know what he's talking about.
The's been a lot of those things here.
There's been a lot of things that have been made official here tonight.
It's official. The T-shirt is now for sale.
Right. Yeah, it looks good, too. Looks really good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you put it out or not, so I better not say anything. I don't really know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what I'm supposed to be saying and what I'm not supposed to be saying at this
You've
point.
already ruined the whole rest. What's that matter?
If you have any secrets, don't tell Langley Austin.
Well, here.
Or at least tell me their secrets.
Right, tell them not to tell.
Knock on wood here. I listened to Langley Austin this year. I know. Everybody stay
That's pretty
seated.
scary.
He said, man.
The chat just blew up.
He said, social media is where it's at. It's like, yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, whatever. We go on a cruise. Me and Whitney's talking about the social media.
I know what you did every 10 minutes. Social media.
Okay, every 11 minutes we talked about social media. And that led back up to the 10-minute warning. So,
Jeez.
PG, here we go.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
And so we get off the plane in Charlotte. We're riding up the road. We get almost back into Virginia. This was Thursday. She starts making this page. I said, oh, man, I think I got 5 or 6 guys that work for me. At least I'll have 5 or 6 followers.
Right.
They're going to be all over that.
Right.
She said, well, there's more people that like you than you know. I said, well, we'll find out. She puts this thing up. That thing's up to like 675 people following. I don't know if they just want to see me fall on my face or whether they want a T-shirt.
Yeah. Where can they find you? Tell them right now so we can get up to 1,000.
It's on DC Motorsports on Facebook. Go on there and like it. We're giving away prizes every race week. You'll get prizes, whether it's a set of race tickets for general admission. We got a box up there this year, so you may get a box tickets. You could get shirts, hats.
Playing it perfect.
Coolers.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, there's something going to be giveaway every Friday of a race. Every race week we're going to do. And we're not sure at the end of the year we're going to do something big for them. We don't know what it is. I hadn't thought that far ahead. Still trying to figure out how to get my car to Kres. But, we're going to do something big. But, I mean, for sure, jump on there, like it. Comment. We got T-shirts, hats, and stuff on there for sale. I'm not making a dime off of them. I'll tell you who made them. You can call them and ask them. I just think it's pretty cool that if that miracle night happens, I look up in the stands and I got 2 or 3 people either throwing my hat down or waving my hat. One of the two. At least you got my hat. You give me your $15. That's all that matters,
Yeah.
Right.
So, but yeah, for sure. Get on there and look it up.
Beyond that with social media, didn't you pick up a sponsor or a guy that wanted to sponsor you or
Sure
something
did.
off of it?
Sure did. And, I texted Langley last night, like 11:30 or something last night. I was sitting there and my messenger goes off. And we confirmed that sponsorship today, riding down here. Had a lawn care, called me out of Blacksburg. This guy, I mean, forgive me if I'm wrong, may lose a sponsor right here, but,
I put you on the spot.
Yeah, put me on the spot right here. It's he come aboard. I checked my Facebook just like anybody else. there's so many scams and stuff going on. I didn't know. So I look on my Facebook. I see he owns a lawn care. I check it out. I look at everything. And we're not even friends on Facebook. But he had seen some of my tow trucks. Well, then he had got on the internet, which linked him to this page. DCT Motorsports. Awesome. So now he looks at my cars. And he starts reading up about me. He starts looking. He said, hey, man, I like how you are. I like this. I need my name on something like this. And, you know, he jumped right on. I mean, you know, I called him. I called him. And
so you reached out to him?
Yeah, I called him today. We were riding down here. I called him, had some time. And, of course, you know, he got that little whatever thing in the truck. He just talking, goes through the speakers. One of them fancy, whatever. Anyway, I'm talking to him. We just
Bluetooth,
cruised.
yeah.
Bluetooth, yes. Anyway, see, you shouldn't have given me that last one there, Corey. we're riding down the road, and I go talking to him, and I'm thinking, I told the guy, I'm like, look, man, I'm easy to get along with. I said, what do you have in your budget?
Right.
And he said, well, what do you want? Well, I referred back to not shooting myself in the foot that I'm known for.
Right.
I asked for $5 and they give you $100. I said, man, I'm easy to get along with. I got room on the car. I'll put your sticker on it. What you got in your budget? Well, he proceeds to tell me we were $25 off, $50 off from what I had in my mind per race.
Right.
I said, wow. Okay, man, that's cool. Right here's exactly what I had in my mind. You know, if we need to adjust it, I'm not going to turn you away. Right. That close. That's crazy.
Right.
And he said, absolutely not. He said, I want to be a part of your car. I want to be a part of you this year. And I like to pass out. I thought I was going to pull off the side of the road and let Ryan drive from that point on. Hadn't heard those words. Well, I've heard them quite a few times this year. It's been a while. But, you know, the old man apparently still 2 or 3 people. They must have seen Philip Morris racing last year, and they thought
you had a few years left.
Hey, this guy right here is 15 years younger than Philip. We're going to try it again.
Hook on to him.
But he, you know, they jumped right on, and you know, the guy, he said, "Tell me how many races you're going to run this year. Give me a close number. We go over whatever. Call you know." So I'm supposed to call him back tomorrow, give him the number. He said, "Run the check over to our shop, bring the decals over."
That's awesome.
Once again, social media.
All because of social media.
Yeah, that's cool.
We preach it every week.
But one thing that I think that people, where it converted here, that I want to make sure that we reiterate is he called him and talked to him and told him what he wanted.
Yes.
The man just didn't be like, well, here's a check for $12 million. Go do whatever you think is right. Right?
Exactly.
I mean, you called and talked with him and said what he wanted to do. You worked it out like a business type deal as what it could be, where there's value for both parties, as opposed to just, well, nobody gives me anything. Nobody just comes and writes me a check.
Waiting on somebody to call me.
Right. And then when they do call, they never follow up. That drives me absolutely crazy. Like, if I tell you that I'm going to do it, or somebody tells you they're going to do it, if you don't come back and get it yourself, then you just messed up.
You just lost that opportunity.
But in business, you're not going to do that, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. In your personal business,
nope.
You've got to do it the same way.
It's the same thing.
They're for instance, another one. I've been on them for 2 years. 2 years. Pulaski Yankees. They're huge. Okay.
Right.
There was some people that had thought about it, but were scared to try.
100%.
I was a little guy. I don't care. You know what?
What are they going to? I've been told no 1,000 times.
Look here, I got told no 1,000 times on a cruise ship, so I'm used to it.
And then Langley ruined the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow. That was awesome.
I get to. Oh, Whitney, you can go ahead and post the pictures now, hon.
Sorry, we saved those.
We do not have to do that photo shoot tomorrow night.
Can't keep
Sorry,
that
babe.
secret. Langley just ruined it for everybody.
But, dun, dun. You know,
poor guy.
The Yankees, I talked to them 2 or 3 times. And I wasn't, in my eyes, getting anywhere. And I finally said, hey, you know, I've got a workable business proposal. Let me come sit down with you.
Sure.
We sat face-to-face, just from me to Langley. I said, y'all sell billboards, right? Yeah. one of the biggest towing companies right here in town. Yeah. What's them billboards go for?
Sure.
She told me.
Leverage.
I said, all right. Ever heard of Martin's Pharmacy? Yeah. They're one of our biggest sponsors. I said, they're on my quarter miles. Really? I said, yeah. I'd like to buy one of them billboards too. Just because I feel like that local people ought to stay with local people. 15 minutes later, I had the Pulaski Yankees.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
And,
People just don't ask, I don't think.
No.
Yeah.
And I think a big problem is, and I'm not against the people that have PRs.
Sure.
That's fine. I'm old school. If you want something from me, you're going to come ask me.
Yeah, but you know what? I think 90% of the people that got any money want to be old school, right? Like, they don't want to hear from your PR guy.
Yeah.
I've had old school racers that was surprised as asked me to find them stuff, and I was like, no, I don't have time, and plus,
I think some maybe don't know
you do
how.
it, you know.
Right?
You gotta go up and ask yourself.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
and people respect that.
Yeah.
I mean,
And as a sponsor, you're somebody like I would want to sponsor because and I don't want to take this the wrong way. I've never been to a race and not knew that you were there. You know what I mean?
I don't know if that's good or bad.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If I'm on that car, you're going to be seen.
A great story for that
gonna
is
be
when
seen.
Clay Greenfield put us on the truck at
Yes,
Martinsville.
that is a good
Had race
story.
22
And he
on
wrecked
there.
That is a
that
good
guy from
story.
India about 1,000 times.
Well, the guy from, what was it, Gateway Pharmacy, the one that sponsored
he wrecked that
Nate
dude from
Monteith.
India like every other lap.
He was sponsoring Eric Almirola, I believe.
Uh-huh.
And the dude, I had a relationship with him. He sends me a message. He goes,
Yeah, how much y'all
dude,
pay
you
to get on
got,
there?
Something
you
was
got
weird
more.
there.
He said, how much did you pay? I ignore you, idiots.
Well, you said had a relationship with another man. We all looked at each other like, what are you talking about?
I
Yeah.
was trying to figure out how to
Especially
get out
your
of here.
wife, right? Your wife was like, what in the hell is he talking about?
Oh, God.
Anyway, go
But
ahead.
he sends me a message. How much did you pay for that? Nothing. He said, my God, man. He said, we paid, and he told me what it was. He said, and you got X amount more TV time than we did.
We didn't even nobody even told him to, did he? He just
Yeah,
did it.
he sent me a message. He said, you care if I put race 22 on there? Nope. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who's
You
going to
know.
turn that down?
Right. So, I mean, sponsor, good or bad, and it
And
wasn't good that day.
And at Martinsville in the late model race, just once before he puts it upside down on his windshield.
Because I think he
yeah,
did.
he was the only dumbass that did.
Hey, and people were looking.
He did it on
You know,
purpose too. I thought it was
great.
awesome, man. It was awesome.
It was great.
But,
But that day, I think he wrecked the Cope girls a couple times. I mean, it was great. I
the
mean, it was
guy
like
from
the
India
perfect
wrecked him one time, and he
sponsorship.
wrecked him 8,000 more times in that
right.
race. Yeah, yeah.
But I mean,
But it was on TV a lot.
Oh, it was on there.
Perfect
way,
advertisement.
Yeah.
Way more than you would think.
Yeah. But
I think-
I'm not wanting you to do all that. I'm just saying, you're a hard-nosed racer, and
Well, he's
you're
already,
not
he's
the
already
guy
said
that's
he's going back to 9th or 10th if he has
Yeah,
to.
well,
so.
you're not the guy that's going to ride 9th or 10th in a race.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, since Carl's on here, too, I'm calling you out, buddy. If you're back there, you need to come back, too, bud. Let's make this interesting.
Oh, Lord.
I think it would have been better if they had just inverted the top 10.
Carl, I'll show you the rear of that car. No, he didn't say that.
Oh, boy. Hey, that's all right. It all looks good sitting on the air cleaner.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Going back to the social media, conversation a little bit, Kenny Lang said that social media was a catalyst for you sponsoring, Brian Reedy
Correct.
a little bit too.
Correct. It really is. And, honestly, Kenny Lang has done wonders for Brian and his
Oh,
racing.
for sure.
I reached out. I actually messaged Kenny Lang.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't approach me. I messaged them.
Right.
And I said something to Kenny. I was like, look, here's what I can do. Now, you tell me if you're putting a quarter-size emblem on there or if you're just taking my money and running. My name and that logo on that hood of that car has been everywhere.
Right.
People have called me and told me, hey, I seen your car at a hockey game.
Yeah.
I'm like, that wasn't my car. Well, your name was on it. Well, yeah, I sponsor that guy. Oh, man, you race and sponsor a guy? I was like,
Right.
yeah, I sponsor a couple people.
And that's
I mean-
somewhat rare. I mean, and
Yeah.
that's probably why, they didn't approach you, because that's not the norm.
It's
Now everybody will be calling you.
oh yeah, we're closed. I mean, but
Gave out all of our funds for this year.
yeah. Check with me next November.
Yep.
But this all falls back to that decision I made last race season. It all falls back to that one decision I made, and now I'm able to pick and choose and select and try to help people that they were my – here's why I'm going to say this, and I don't want to step on anybody. They were my buddies before.
You did it. Sure, 100%.
And not just because I come and said,
right,
hey, here, you know, I'll give you a little bit of
or
money.
not
for your
because
car.
you gave them money at all. They were your buddies if you weren't going to give them money.
These are guys that
that's
you
the
know,
guy you want to help, right?
Yeah.
They ate it with you when you were doing stuff
Exactly.
that you probably shouldn't have been doing, and that's half the fun, right?
Exactly. That's fun, you know. They're the guys that, for no reason at all, call you in the middle of the week.
Correct.
And say, hey, man, what you doing?
Right. Want nothing. They're not trying to beat you out of nothing.
Not at
right?
all.
It's not who's going to buy the
all.
beer. It's just having a good time, right?
Paul Caldwell.
Yeah.
Said, tell him, hero, it's checkers or wreckers.
Hey, right there it is, boy. You talk about a man that's been there around me. We've been in some bad situations, and Paul's been on the other end of the radio, so some days I'm not sure if that's the greatest idea.
It's not.
But Paul in
Langley went ahead and said no.
In a real bad way. Paul has been one of those guys that's been there from point A to point B. Paul's car sits in my shop.
Right.
I try to take time to work and try to help Paul, and I'd bend over backwards. I mean, you know, his car sits in the shop, his trailer's at the shop. I mean, it's, you know, it's one of those things. Because back in the day, I was winning races, and this guy just walks up to me and says, hey, can I help you? And I said, sure, come on. He didn't want money. He just wanted to help.
Right.
So there it is, you know,
Right.
And he's been around for the last 20 years.
He's a good dude. I don't know if I'd have him on the radio, but he's a good dude.
Well, yeah, you know.
Why not? That's the best stuff.
I don't think he's LPP approved. But
you have to go through the course first.
Pretty sure
You have to go through the course.
We would all have to. We'd have to stop like every corner and 3 times down the straightaway and get out and get on our knees and pray after listening to Paul.
That's half the fun.
Speaking of, you know, that video you were talking about that you posted of Covey and
Steven Sanders.
He's the one. Paul's the one that shoved the guy. I think AJ back down off the wall to keep him out of the fight.
Oh.
So that they could just be those two.
The greatest line ever. Don't nobody want none of this. I'll take a little piece of it.
Steven
Said, I'd like to have a little piece of it, and just went to his head.
We were at Southern National one night, and Andy Favre was keeping up my car at the time. We show up at Southern National, and we're blistering fast. And whatever the 16's number name is, it's not Mike Little. It's the other
Rusty Daniels.
Rusty Daniels.
Yeah.
That was the hot dog down there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. He was the man. Andy had that car so perfect. I didn't want to let off in the corner. The nose kissed the track. I missed the pole by hundreds. I mean, just so me and Rusty Daniels, we put on a show.
Right.
We run 20 laps side by side, beating doors. I never will forget Rusty Daniels is on the inside. I mean, he's swerving. And he's like that. And I'm like, dude, you have no idea. I don't know who he is. He's just swerving. He keeps getting closer to my door. I was like, I keep the radio, and I said, y'all watch this. He swerves up. I swerve down. We said, wham. We're on the pace laps. I stick my finger like this, my pointer finger, out the window. Out the window.
For everybody at home.
And I shake it at Rusty. So we have a caution later on. It's like, I don't know, a few laps. I got ahead of myself. A few laps in, we have a caution. And we back up there doing it again. Well, Rusty does it again. I said, he didn't learn, Paul. Wham! I hit him. And I mean, when I say I hit him like we was racing at Daytona 500.
Right, it was getting ready to come down.
We wind up, had an incident that night, and, you know.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Wherever.
I would have never seen that coming.
Yeah. No, it wasn't even me and Rusty.
Oh.
Wherever Marquise is, he can tell you all about it.
Oh, yeah.
But,
yeah.
Anyway, we had an incident that night. We finished 4th. And after the race, speaking of, this was back to Paul Caldwell. The person we had an incident with, their spotter's like 6'9", probably 350 pounds. Paul's 250, 60.
Yeah.
5'10".
Right.
We get down there, and we're all in a little bit of a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The officials one of the officials was Jason Merriman. Jason Merriman steps in the middle. That's when the Motor Mile guys were done.
Right.
Says, look here, guys. He said, you don't know what you're fooling with. Y'all need to leave. Obviously,
Right.
he wasn't talking to us.
Right. Right. Jason knew.
Jason Merriman's been there, done that.
We're here to race. We're here for the party too.
Right.
Okay. The guys, man, I hope Lee turned the radio off.
Yeah, I was wondering, how did you get LPP approved?
Yeah, no, right. This was in the past. The guy comes down there, the spotter, and he just looks right down at Paul, and he said, "I'm fixing to stomp you." Paul Caldwell, neck bowed completely back, eyes straight up at him, says, "Is your whipper broke?"
Wow.
Needless to say, they escorted them on out of the way because they knew it was about to get real.
Yeah.
We stayed right there with the officials and cut up and carried on, and they got took to their trailers.
Oh, man.
So,
That's good stuff.
But that would be why Paul Caldwell, I don't think I can let him on the radio. He'd be up there asking a bunch of them that and throwing them off the top. Them was in the golden days 10 years ago.
Now, was that the incident with Haley Moody?
It sure was.
I thought it was.
It was. And, you know, there was a lot of grief over that, and I honestly believe, and, you know, Haley can correct me if I'm wrong, Haley was put up to that. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it was honestly said to me. She done nothing wrong. I done nothing wrong. Watched the tapes 1,000 times. Mm-hmm. Southern National, you know, it's got that little lip.
Right.
I was running second. She was third. She dove in, hit the lip. I didn't give.
Right.
She wrecked. I didn't.
Right.
I'd have done the same thing.
Right.
You know, and I told her that. I got no issues with Haley at all.
Right.
Haley was running for the championship. I messaged Haley. I said, I got 2 cars sitting here. If you need one, I will bring it down there. Start and park it if you need it. It's here.
Right.
Got no issues.
Right.
Anyway, she was put up to that by, I think, other people that didn't see what happened. And she was younger.
Right.
And she done what she was told.
Right.
To this day, still don't have any issues with her. I mean,
right.
She could call and say, hey, I'm whatever running for a championship. Is there any way you could help? I'd still do the same thing. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Paul Caldwell just said he wants to be on the radio show.
Oh, boy.
I don't know if we're prepared for all that.
Y'all might better pre-record that one.
Well, we should have pre-recorded this one.
We'll talk to legal and get back to you.
Yeah.
We'll confer with legal.
I actually read that somewhere earlier this week.
See,
but the funny thing about that story with Haley is I remember, you know, they thought that you had got into her or caused her to wreck because you had something against female racers.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I thought that was the funniest thing, given that your daughter, races.
I heard that in the pits.
Right.
15 minutes after the race, a guy comes up. And I ain't embarrassed to say, Jamie Caldwell walks up to me, fingers straight in my nose. I look at him kind of funny, and I'm like, who are you?
That's great.
That must have been the real problem there, because I guess it pissed him off because I didn't know who he was. I'm sorry. Apologize. He stuck his finger in my nose. I pretty much politely removed his finger from my nose. He said, you know, she's just like you. She's out here to race. And I said, okay. What? He said, you know, she's just like y'all. She races. I said, yeah, sure does. That race, I was just in it. I seen her.
Yeah, so, right beside. I was there.
He went on to tell me, he said, well, it's just something. You got something against girls racing. Wow. Hey, man, you know that girl's tearing up the East Coast in that little green car? That's my daughter.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy. I started her at 4 years old. Nah, I'm all for a girl racing.
Yeah.
And I think somewhere the words after that, when I explained to him what I thought of him, was probably where he didn't like me anymore, which is fine. You know, I didn't do anything wrong. She didn't do anything wrong.
That was the LPP approved version right there that he just gave.
Yes, it was.
Well done.
Yes.
Well done.
That was the no riders version right there.
Well done.
Wow. Paul Caldwell just earned his way onto the show. I'll just let you know. He said he told me it's either him or his wife, so he's on. There ain't no way in hell we're letting Angie anywhere near a microphone.
Oh, boy.
I'll just tell you right now.
Poor Paul.
Or maybe
Here we go.
should. I don't know. This is
Hey,
good
I'm
stuff.
coming just a few. I'm going to be in the background.
Drinking beer.
Yeah. If y'all hand me a mic, it's up to y'all. I can narrate a little bit.
It would be some narrating.
Oh,
going
yeah. I could be the one back there going, beep, beep.
Oh, man.
on. We pretty much let anything go here. I just don't know about that one.
Yeah, I told you, you're going to need to beep.
Yeah, man, we'll have to get you ready on that one, Doc.
Yeah, Doc.
I don't know if your fingers are fast enough for that one. Jeez. Oh, man. Well, this weekend, be your first race, man.
First race.
Yep. I mean,
Yeah, good luck.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
I mean, we're just going to ask you now, are you going to win?
Buddy, you know what?
He said checkers are records. What part didn't you get?
I'm going
I mean,
for
I
it.
just wanna know.
If it's in the good Lord's hand, I'm gonna win. If it's in His hands for me to finish last, that's where I'm gonna finish. But I can guarantee you one thing: that flag flies. Y'all probably better watch because it's
He said it's on.
man. I don't have two cars just to have one to look at. And you know, I see on Sunday mornings. And, you know, I've got Hedgecock stuff. I mean, you know,
Chris just wants you to bring one of them to him.
Chris, I'm on my way. I got to finish this.
He says that y'all have to test twice this week. He said that we're going to have to rent the track twice. Once to talk about how we're going to get along and be friends, and the second day we'll test.
Dude, I got to buy another billboard. So, you know, I plan on being that guy that when people show up, that I want them to sit in the stands and look and say, you know what? That guy might have wrecked, but did you see him? Right. He was going for it. He wasn't riding. He wasn't following.
Right.
He wasn't behind him. He wasn't scared of making enemies.
Right.
I mean, sorry. I hate to say this. My friends, I've heard this 1,000 times. My friends are either going to have my shirts on or they'll have LPP shirts on. Anybody else? Hold on. We coming, boys.
I like it. I like it.
Hey,
I
that's
love it.
Yeah.
in my opinion, that's what racing needs.
That's what it's supposed
Yeah.
I'm
to be.
sick and tired of watching follow the leader.
Right.
I'm tired of it.
Or hear somebody saying, hey, what would be a good day for you? Well, if I could finish in the top 7, that'd be great. What the hell? You know?
Dude, you know what? I'll finish 7th. Yes,
No.
sir.
Who's ever done that? I mean,
There's been some people do that, but
well, yeah.
Not
but
me.
still.
If I finish 7th,
Oh, you're
They
pissed.
shouldn't have, though.
you know what? I'm going to be glad that I had the opportunity. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to be glad I had the opportunity to be there and that I had the time and the money to be there and sponsors. But that's going to be disappointing.
I mean, if you finish 7th in an LPP car, Preston's going to be driving the next race.
Preston will be
I'll
there.
just go ahead and tell you. And
me
that's
tell
that's not an upgrade, just by the way. So
Man, hey, the pressure's on you, Chris. All I do is hold the steering wheel.
Chris said, bring me the damn car. You know? I can't
That's
do
all I'm
nothing.
asking for.
Dang it. Lee's probably going to be calling me. This show's going to end. Lee's going to be calling me. He's going to be like, hey, I mean, seriously. They all know we got 2 cars. We know.
Yeah, but we didn't want to have to
Jay's
fix them
on
all the
speed
time.
dial. We're ready to go, but can you bring me a car, please?
Yeah. Yeah.
Lee's mom, Deborah, she said, "Love it. Let's win this thing."
Yep.
That's right. You know what?
Yep.
That lady right there, I've seen her a couple times at the racetrack. Never spoke to her. She jumped right out there, welcomed me. I mean, she is like I've took time to watch things that she does.
Right.
Man, how awesome! I mean, she's all over it, and she gets to the racetrack, and guys that can't be to the racetrack, she don't care if Lee's winning. I know she wants it,
Sure.
but she's sitting there with her phone, and she tells you the rundown, or there's a caution, or who wrecked, and it's not even the late models.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, she is about the sport.
Oh yeah.
And
100%.
that is awesome.
A great lady for sure. She
Yeah. The whole family's cool.
She babysat nephew Jaden when he couldn't go in the pits at the racetrack.
Oh,
she
that's awesome.
Babysat him at Motor Mile
That's
in the
awesome.
stands.
Yeah.
He's up there running around with some cars.
I sure hope she can come Saturday. I mean, I'll be glad to put her up in the box or whatever. I hope she can be there.
Derek Lancaster is watching now.
Hot dog. Hello, Derek. I've been bragging about you.
Chris said he just put the window nets up. It must have been in some other car. That's all I can figure.
Yeah. I'm going to tell
Off
you.
the rails.
Wes Farrell says he misses being at the track. May have to find his way up there. I'm sure you're going to find
Wes
your way
Farrell,
up there.
anytime you want to go, brother, I got you way in.
Wes he's the
I
man.
got your hat, your shirt. You come hang out with us, brother, anytime.
He can't be wearing your shirt, man. He's all time wearing RACE22 stuff. So
That'll be fine. Look here. Me and you will get a shirt made. We'll split.
No.
Well,
We can't do that now. Nope. Out. That's out.
Performance Center paying for it.
No, Performance Center's not paying for anything.
I'm gonna walk in. Jimmy Doughton's gonna be sitting there, or Rita Doughton. She's gonna be sitting there, and she's gonna say, "Who's got your tires?" RACE22.
There you go.
Langley will be here shortly.
Hey, I guarantee she'll say, "You better bring some cash over here."
Oh boy,
Langley will be here with a check. He said he was going to leave you one.
Yeah, I mean,
she ain't waiting on me. I see Jimmy on here, so
hey
he's like,
Jimmy,
nope. We ain't
make
doing
sure
that.
I get the good tires.
That's the new headline.
I mean, hey, you
Give
know,
them good tires.
off the mic. If I got to buy 4 a week, I don't care, man.
Off the mic. Wow. Good
Jimmy
stuff.
and Rita's always been good to me up there.
Yeah, Jimmy, Rita, both great people for sure.
Yeah.
Lenny, all great
Lenny,
family.
oh man, yeah, and to see what Lenny has done.
Oh yeah,
I mean, me and you remember Lenny, and he's
right.
You know, I ain't been in there in so long, and I feel bad. Is Shelby still there?
Yep, she was there the last time I was
Wow.
in there, anyways.
Shelby, I used to call her. They'd be getting ready to close. I'd be like, Shelby, I need a favor. What? Well, you know, I tore my car up last Saturday. Daryn, it's Friday. I know. Can you lay this outside? Yeah.
Yep, definitely good people, and they've done a great job with
Oh
the
yeah,
RP.
Lenny has took his things and
For
just
sure.
run
For sure.
with them.
Dylan Hauser, before we get out of here, Dylan Hauser wants to know if most all of the limiteds that raced there a couple of years ago are planning to come back.
From what I've heard, I think minus Dylan and the cars that they brought, I think, you know, when they closed, I think Dylan and them converted over to late model and built spec
Right.
motors. They dropped a lot of money, so you can't
Sure.
blame them. I mean,
Sure. I mean, you wouldn't mind if he come and run that spec motor with you, would you?
heck no. Come on, man. Let me tell you, you know, there's this thing called a brake pedal. I can wait on you, and that motor don't do no good with flat
Pull
tires.
Frank Denny.
My foot slipped off the gas.
Did I mention, you know, Frank Denny helped me a little bit last year?
Right.
We had 3 weeks of schooling before I ever got to drive the car.
I don't know. Was that LPP approved? I'm pretty sure not.
The brake pedal probably.
I'm not guaranteeing you that part wasn't.
I'm not saying
Well, if I'm in front, I'm sure it's okay.
Right.
But if it happens to me, shame on you.
Well, we've already discussed where we're going this weekend, where Roger's not going, and where me and you are going this weekend.
You're
Corey.
a dick. I completely hate you.
Hey,
And they're not going to kick me off. It's in my shop. You're a dick. Let's just get
Roger's
this out in
coming
the
with
open.
us. He's
Oh,
going.
that'd be
He's
really
going to be
scary.
He's going to be up there with us.
Right.
All the way up
Him
to the
and Lee in
point.
the same pit. I can see that now.
All the way up to the point
Why
that
not? I
Jay
have no
walks
problem
up.
with him.
Just kidding, man.
Jay will walk up and go,
Shitster.
"What's he doing in here?"
Oh man, it's funny. Hope I see Jay this weekend. Looking forward to that.
How's that going? Let's talk about that.
Let's
I'll
don't.
run with that. Come on, tough guy. Let's fucking
Oh, boy.
let's chat about
Let's
it.
don't. Looking forward to that though.
Oh,
All right.
Oh, man.
I missed something.
You got anything else you want to add? Anything? Anybody you want to thank or anything like that?
Man,
Check out that social.
yeah, check out that Facebook page, DC Motorsports. Throw me a like up there. Whether you like me or not, you can win free stuff, okay?
You don't even have to like me. You can just get free stuff.
You know what?
He's not taking care of it anyway.
I
His
mean, yeah, Whitney,
fiance is that Langley just blew
Yeah.
out on the radio. Yeah.
Whitney's taking care of it. So, hey, you know, she's pretty cute. You know, give her a like. Just do it on my website. You know what I'm saying?
That's the greatest thing I've ever heard.
But you know,
In other words, don't mess up.
and you know, and Roger, close your ears right here.
Yeah, go ahead.
You got to thank Jay Hedgecock
Should.
and Rayvon Clark. I mean, you know, Rayvon, what a trooper he's been for me. I call him just like a story I told earlier. I mean, we had a part, and it was a stock Chevrolet part. It wasn't even one of our cheated parts that we had in the drawer. It broke, and Rayvon on a Friday night had plans.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, put it on one of your rollbacks. Get it here.
Right.
I'm going to fix it.
Rayvon's a good guy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome
Jay's
guy.
a good guy. I don't have anything against Jay.
Jay, you know, I can call Jay. Hey, man, what's going on? Help me out. I got to thank Lee, LPP, you know, all the guys in the shop. Kres, I promise I'm bringing you the car. I just got to stop and eat. We're going to stop up here at McAdoo's. We got a couple things we got to drink. I mean, take care of. And then I'll be on the way. And, yeah, we're buying dinner. Roger Johnson's buying dinner.
Anytime it comes to paying, they just ask for me.
It's all Roger.
Yep.
Martin's Pharmacy, Kessler Contracting, Matt Kessler. You know, my social media guy is coming on board. I'd say his name, but I want to make sure I have the money in hand. Not that I don't trust him.
No, for sure, yeah.
But I do not.
You don't want nobody else hitting him
I
up.
do not want anybody going and picking up my check.
Right.
It's me.
Right.
Okay. But, you know, that's the only reason he'll be on board. And, you know, Pulaski Yankees, shout out to them. DCT Towing, as y'all have heard my phone over here buzzing off a hook while Ryan's doing it. Man, it's looking to be a good year. I think Ibach Springs, I forgot about that. Sorry, Ibach Springs. Got to say that.
Right.
But, hey, we'll see y'all at Motor Mile Saturday.
All right, man. Looking forward to it. All right, Doc. Take us home.
All righty, boys. A great show, man. Enjoyed it. Had a good time. It's good having Daryn here for sure. Lots of racing in this weekend. Lots of tracks in action. Hopefully the weather will participate and let us get a race on Friday, the 26th. RACE Speedway, Anderson Speedway, Kingsport, and Wake County had to move their season opener because of weather. So hopefully everybody get the race on this Friday. Saturday, here's your choices. You got Bowman Gray, twin 25s for the mod. Plus they'll have what?
200 lap Hayes Jewelers 200.
Oh, they moved it forward. Okay. Thank you, Corey. They did move the 200-lapper forward. Thank you, Corey. Well, they can hear you breathing. Trust me. Carteret is getting a race on Saturday. Dillon, Motor Speedway there in South Carolina. East Carolina's got a scheduled race. Greenville Pickens, Hickory Motor Speedway. Langley's got twin 70s to commemorate their 70 years of doing business there up in that area. Motor Miles, we talked about, twin 50s for the late models, but the limited late models going to be putting on a heck of a show too. Orange County, I know Redhead, so we may go out, even though it's my work weekend. Redhead, I know she wants to go out there, so we may end up in Motor Mile country, even though it's a work weekend for me. Orange County, hopefully they'll get their race in. And Shenandoah, that's lots of places to get your race on. So hopefully we will see you at the races.
Hello? I must be going.
Well, that'll wrap up this week's show. We want to thank you for listening to RACE22 Radio. Be sure and keep us logged on to race22.com for all your favorite late model stock car racing action, videos, podcasts, and much, much more. We'll be back broadcasting live around the globe next Monday at 6 p.m. from right here at the Performance Center Racing Warehouse Studio in beautiful Statesville, North Carolina. Until then, we'll see you at the races. RACE22 Radio is a presentation of RACE22 Productions.
I must be